Futures downside here to kick things off on a Tuesday morning as we await some key economic data, more Fed speak coming up later this morning as well. Futures trying to bounce right now, but we did have a pretty negative start, about 0.4 for both the NASDAQ and S&P. Currently, last week we had Fisker making its way down to the OTC on going concern headlines. This week it's Canoe. GOEV seems to be the latest one too. It's not on the OTC yet, but big move down here in the pre-market this morning, raising going concerns going forward for GOEV. We'll touch on that coming up. A whole bunch of things in the tech space moving around here this morning as well. More headlines on Tesla, Apple as well. More details coming out on Apple AI, what we'll learn about coming up in June at their WWDC event. We'll touch on that. A lot to come not only today, but coming up tomorrow as well. Remember, we get non-farm payrolls on Friday this week for March. So that's going to be the big economic release for the week. It's Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. Yeah, there's how things are shaping up right now. A little bit of a bounce underway currently for the Qs. NASDAQ a little bit better off than everything else at this point, really, but we are below that support from late in the day yesterday for the Qs and the S&P. Both downside to kick things off here this morning. Oil, meanwhile, at a 6-month high, I was reading this morning. So some of the energy names getting a little bit of a boost as far as the related equities. But yeah, lots of Fed speakers to come today. Not sure how much it even matters at this point, but we'll keep an eye out for any comments that could move the market. As always, yeah, Bitcoin still downside even more as we speak, 66 or thereabouts coming into play this morning. Bit of a move back higher in gold. I mentioned late in the day yesterday, both the dollar and some of the longer term yields had a big move up yesterday. We did get the first of 2 doses of ISM data yesterday. We'll get more coming up tomorrow morning. Again, 9:45 and 10 o'clock seem to push things back towards the maybe inflation's an issue once again. Adira back on the desk with me once again this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Busy morning. Lots to touch on this morning. We talked a little bit about in the pre-market there that GOEV note, Canoe downside in a big way. The latest to seem to be in trouble here in EV land.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like every day we're getting some more EV news. Yesterday, we had some of those Chinese delivery numbers. We're still waiting on Tesla's delivery numbers. Tesla, though, also experiencing a 0.2 increase year over year for those March sales in China. So not a huge increase there. I think EV is definitely going to continue to be on watch this week. And Canoe, not looking great.
Yeah, a lot of cautionary notes in the way of Tesla deliveries. So seems to be a little bit of a delay anyway in those numbers coming out. Here it is right now. This was after the close yesterday. This came out. We did gap up a little bit here this morning, but basically right back to where it ended. The aftermarket yesterday down 28.5% here. I mean, Neil, you and I were touching on this story a little bit in the pre-market before we came on. Rightfully so, I think, for Canoe here this morning. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, not a good morning for Canoe. By the way, I'm not actually long this Canoe. I had been short. I am short now. The last, like, there was, like, I covered a couple of times at 77, and it's continuing to show, like, those fills on the chart. That said, one of the headlines, and it was a bit of a, I don't know, you can call it like clickbaity, but apparently it's the actual truth. Like, they spent, the CEO flying the corporate jet was a bigger cost than their revenues last year, which, I mean, there's no way to slice that and try to make that come out as good. It was a fraction of their overall costs, but it's not a great look. I mean, the revenues weren't zero for them, so there were some things moving in an upward direction. But you say going concern issues, and this is what can happen. I listened to myself where I said sometimes you want to sit in something like this to the short side. And if it does break out $3, it could go squeezing. It's going to likely be SSR, barring a miracle at the open. But the bigger story to the downside, I know this is down 28%. The bigger story is what happened in Bitcoin, last night and this morning, failing that 70,000. We bounced off 65, and are looking for a little bit of a reprieve. But I think it's got Mara in play, it's got Coinbase is going to be in play, obviously into the south side, and you got to be able to play the direction. Would have been nice if 70,000 could have held, but it turned out to be a brick wall in yesterday's trade. And all of a sudden, you have a nice little pullback going into really a lack of catalyst. Like you've got some JOLTS data today. You got Disney tomorrow, you've got some jobs data, so you're right back to the well. Look at the crypto names, look at Tesla, look at the chip names which are moving around, and that's what you got to do in markets like these. But yeah, crypto definitely on the mind for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, not good. People asking about what's going on with Rivian. So we just talked about it. Brendan probably has this story now as well, but there it is right there. Rivian production numbers out now. So people asking what's going on with that. It went all the way up to 1150, 1160 right there. Welcome everybody. That Caitlin Clark yesterday. What a great game there for Iowa as they advance through. She's an absolute monster. All right, here. 13,588 vehicles in Q1 reaffirms the guidance there and also produced more vehicles than they delivered. So that seems like that's a good thing, I would think, for Rivian. So there it is, also, managing to confirm that number of 57,000. So those of you asking about Rivian, we'll probably look at Rivian at some point here today, 1150. Nice little top there. I mean, that's, oh no, oh yeah, that's right. I have to. Sometimes oh no. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, much better. I got to save my layout so I don't get scared every time. But yeah, that crypto's a little strange. All the way down here to 65.6 right now on just another move down. I don't know if there was a story about crypto or someone downgraded it or something. But we'll wait to see because IBIT's about at a level here. I guess that's probably coinciding in and around 65, 64,000. But this 36 level here is going to be something to look out for if we continue to make this move. So I'm going to be watching out for IBIT 36,000.
Look at level 2.
We talked about just these stacked orders. It's all these are all some Eric Lindros is happening in there.
88.
Yeah, these are all. This is very controlled, right? So all this is just going to be someone just has an algo working right now trying to get shorts.
In 88 lots.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, they're printing. Actually, got a 5,000 share print there. Some decent shares going off right now. We talked about IBIT with Michael Noss yesterday. So if you want to go back, watch the market recap show, probably about 20 minutes in or so, we started talking about Bitcoin. We actually took some Q&A as well. So that was really fun.
Yeah, it was an absolute hit.
I've hit on.
And it was the only hit in Toronto last night.
Yeah. Great start there for the Blue Jays. That guy's was his 8th start ever. And
he's 30 years old, and it was for anyone who doesn't know, you probably don't because you don't follow baseball, most people. The Toronto Blue Jays got no hit by a pitcher who was 30 years old making his 8th major league start. He was, up until last year, he was like a 5-year reliever in the minor leagues. And they converted him to a starter last year. He had the changeup, and he no-hits the Toronto Blue Jays because no team is better at getting no-hit in the last 15 years than my Blue Jays.
Did we?
I think I don't know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure nobody has been no-hit more than us in the last 15 years. Because I think it's been like 5 times, because Paxton,
so weird,
Verlander twice.
That's so weird.
Then the Detroit had us with a combined one, and then the last one.
Detroit, I remember.
That's like 5 times in a decade.
Benny Blanco. Yeah, that's...
Blanco from the Bronx.
We don't throw too many no-hitters. We got Dave Steve came close, and there was Roy Halladay.
Steve got his. He came close twice.
Oh, okay.
He came close really twice.
Clemens never got one for us.
Clemens never got one.
Yeah, damn it.
We suck. I mean, what?
Well, we'll be fine. Our hitting is going to be pretty nice, though. I think.
No, yeah, it should be fine.
I'm not no panic. The best thing about baseball is 162 games.
Yeah. It's true.
All right, Brennan, Adair, you watch any baseball? We never talk about baseball with you.
I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple games of the Jays, and I saw like one Winnipeg Goldeyes game, but we're not even in the MLB, so I don't know if that counts. Yeah.
The Blue Jays started doing that winter tour a few years back,
Really?
and they were touring like during the winter. It was January, February, I think. They would go across the prairies and out to the West Coast. But yeah, no, there's not much interest, I don't think, out there. For the Jays, yeah, just keeping an eye on Rivian. From what I see, it's a little better than expected. I mean, deliveries down slightly, 13,588, as Sean was saying, 13,980. produced there. So they reaffirmed their guidance, 57,000 for the full year. Yeah, that's Bitcoin. Ugly daily candle forming here. Right back to 66. We'll talk about Robinhood coming up here. Kathy Wood in there selling a few different things yesterday. That was one of them. So worth keeping an eye on Robinhood. But yeah, there's Rivian basically back to lows already, 1.8%. Going to see if Jeff Mendel is going to join us here this morning from OTC. We'll touch on Fisker, possibly with him. As I mentioned, that one down to the OTC last week. Canoe, possibly on the way down fairly shortly here. Going concern issues raised this morning for FSR. We had this note on Apple. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum here, why don't we? We had this note on Apple this morning, a few more details coming out about what we could learn about in June regarding AI from Apple. And from what I was reading this morning, it sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, it sounds really interesting. So they have this Realm technology, which they're saying could be integrated with Siri and help communicate with Siri. It sounds really promising. So there were a couple different researchers from Apple involved in the paper. The paper apparently released March 29th, so on that holiday Friday, but reported by 9 to 5 Mac late yesterday. So pretty exciting stuff there in that paper, which you can access online for sure. Definitely worth a read. It'll be interesting to see how this Realm AI, if it even does have to do with those other releases we're going to be hopefully getting in June.
Yeah, we'll see. Meanwhile, we're accelerating downside here. Apple needs to turn things around, I think, if the market's going to, guys.
Yeah, like the NASDAQ just took a right turn through, well, I guess, it's not really huge support, through 18.4 in the NASDAQ. And Apple, which seemed like, okay, I mean, I had it marked off, play into yesterday's lows, which was like 169.5 into the 170 level. That would have been the channel. And now you could be flat bottom breaking here on Apple. That said, like, remember Apple, you had the October lows, which didn't really get tested. And then you had that wick bottom, it was like 67, which is out there. So even if it were to break this 169, like this area under 170, and doesn't hold 69, you got $2 down, you got the 67 level, $4 down, you got 165. That October low, I'm expecting to see some buyers there. So, I mean, like, I'm not saying that seemed like good news, but it doesn't really matter. The trajectory has been Apple is a fade. And when it made that nice bounce the first time off those 60s, you basically gave a lot of that move back in a single day on the 21st, and it's been in a kind of a downward spiral ever since. So you've got some support, I think, at 65 and 67. But I don't know that I want to be looking for the long until I see it bounce off this region again. Otherwise, I think you'll wait till that low. Now, again, that was on March 6th or March 7th, down there at 167. But I think you're in a little bit of trouble with Apple. It has been trending to the downside. I do think the trend is your friend. You juxtapose this with, say, an Alphabet, which made and then held, we'll check where it is in a second, made and held its 52-week high in yesterday's trade. So you're starting to see, I mean, not starting to see, you're continuing to see that these sort of Magnificent Seven names have no problems going in different directions. And when you're setting up your trading day, you've got to be willing to roll with those punches. It's not like it was a year or 2 years ago when if one or two of them were up, you might have a leader, but you'd be dragging the others with them. It's just not like that anymore. And Apple's been one of the bad ones. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I'm just writing down IBIT at $36 here. I have, so unfortunately, yeah, we really liked Apple short here at 170. And now, as we just mentioned, the NASDAQ is basically in a free fall. I mean, it's down 60 points here with no red candles, no green candles there, but despite like someone going to get a coffee there and forgetting to push sell right there. And then all the way down, and now it still goes. So yeah, I really feel that crypto is going to be a big part of today's story because the market's been holding up here for a while. The NASDAQ, Bitcoin's been holding around 69, 68, hovering in, trying to touch 73, making all these moves. And same with the NASDAQ, as we've talked about the NASDAQ here on a 30-minute chart. It's been sort of hovering around these tops. This is just over the last couple days, trying to figure out what it wants to do. Never got above 18.6. When it did, just got hit back down first thing in the morning, I don't know. So there's the Fed. So there's big moves that are here in the market. But for now, I think it's a sell. And yeah, I'm gonna be looking to sell all these names. So I think it's great. The Apple news is great. I mean, we know that in June the AI conference is coming. They're going to announce AI. They're going to sell trillion phones, and everything's going to be fine in Apple. But for right now, this name is down 10%. The S&P is up 10%. So if you're going to talk about what's leading the market, it definitely hasn't been Apple, and it's not a new story. So I think Apple's a buy down like 150-ish. I really think it's going to lose this. And when it does, then you get to 160. We can expand this day chart. You can go down as far as you want. But I really do think that when the market loses it, Apple will lose it the worst. And it's heading into a 50 handle, I believe.
All right, let's, as promised, bring in Jeff Mendel, head of broker-dealer sales over at, he's not ready yet. 1 second, we'll get to Mr. Mendel over at OTC. I'm curious to ask him about this Fisker, Jeff, on the way down to OTC last week. We'll touch on what it's done since then. There's been a resurgence I noticed in a few of these. DIY is Chinese listed stock on the OTC. We'll touch on some of those as well. Tencent on here today also as among the most active. There's Luckin Coffee, LKNCY, going back to yesterday. So a few headlines out of China, guys. Let me know if you had no? Okay. Oh, he's good. He's good now. All right. Well, if Jeff is good, there he is. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
Mic issue this morning.
Yeah, all good. As I mentioned, we had Fisker make its way down to your exchange last week. It's been pretty active. Unfortunately, below that dollar mark, so anyone in the real trading family not going to be able to touch FSRN on the OTC now. But we get this headline this morning regarding Canoe as well, GOEV. Not down to the OTC yet, Jeff, but maybe we can just run through what happens in this case. A lot of people last week caught off guard, I think, with the Fisker move.
So actually, we can use one that happened today. MIMO, MIMO. I don't think it's trading below $1, but I think it was on the New York Stock Exchange, or one of the exchanges run by NYSE. And so today, it's actually trading as MIMOQ. And so basically what happened was trading halted on last Thursday. Remember, Friday was off. And then yesterday, after the close, the New York Stock Exchange made an announcement had a corporate action saying that it would start trading or that it was fully delisted. And then FINRA put out a corporate action saying that it would now start trading as MIMOQ. And so today, what we have is we're now allowing unsolicited quotes in the marketplace for it's the same security. It's just now trading under another ticker. I believe this one is in bankruptcy. So that's usually what. So if you see a 5-letter symbol ending in a Q, that means that it's a bankrupt or going through a bankruptcy.
All right, a few other names moving around here the past couple of days, really. I mentioned the ADR angle. Roche, another one from over in Europe. Downside here so far, it looks like pre-market anyways. Like, again, price action on ADR is going to be heavily related to how it's trading on its home listing, in this case over in Europe. But I mentioned that Chinese angle this morning as well.
Yeah, so I think I heard you mention DIY, another example. So this one's actually a kind of a different one. I don't believe there is a actual home listing for this one. So even though it's a 5-letter Y, which typically means an ADR, which means an ADR, typically those have a home listing to kind of track. So another one, so it's DIY, and another one that's pretty popular, LKNCY, which is Luckin Coffee. And so those are two very active names to kind of watch. And then you have BYDDY, which is actually has a local listing. BYD. It's electronic. Well, you guys all know what it is. But BYDDY is a good example of another Chinese listed name that trades here in the over-the-counter market.
Anything else exciting catching your eye here, Mr. Mendel, on a Tuesday?
ETHE, Ethereum, Grayscale Trust, still trades on us. Everyone all knows that GBTC went up, was it a couple of months ago now at this point. But, we still have ETHE, which is the Ethereum-backed trust that Grayscale put out. Always one of the more active names in our space. Probably will be down a little bit today. I see the Ethereum market is down as well too. So maybe look for something. Maybe look for something in there.
Yeah, lots of headlines still coming out almost on a daily basis. I've seen with people indicating it's going to be the next one to be approved for the ETF, possibly moving up to the big exchange. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Jeff Mendel, head of broker dealer sales at OTC. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you there, Jeff. And I think we all know ETHE. I mean, that's the place to go if you want to be looking at. There's no ETFs yet,
right?
But down the line, obviously everyone's expecting it to be there. So if you want to have the hype going into it, that's one place you can trade it. But we were talking about the EV names and how bad they were, and people were looking for NEO to bounce and break out and all that good stuff. And at least with BYD. At least with that stock, it's made a bottom in that fall, and it's above the 50 period. Like this is they're the number one seller as it stands already in China, and this is something which is already reversing its trend. I think the point I was making yesterday is it's a lot easier to get into something after it's shown you signs of reversing the trend than trying to predict where the bottom is, because then it's like, it looks like a bottom, it goes another 10%, looks like a bottom, it goes another 20%. And the next thing you know, it's your Fisker, or next thing you know, your GOEV. I'm not saying these Chinese EV names are turning into that, but along those lines, BYD's already bounced. And you got Xiaomi, which they're going from phones, and now all of a sudden they got like 50,000 reservations or something for their new EV. Like that's just more and more competition over there. So you might as well be looking at some of these winners. And that NASDAQ, by the way there, Sean, accelerating to the downside. This chart's a 60-minute chart, so they're only going to be the red candles this morning because it's an hour. You're already through, you're through last week's support. You're heading down towards 18.3, which I'm not even sure is the big level. I'd almost put like 18.2.5. As NVIDIA broke a flat bottom just now, 891. So you're getting continued pressure on the NASDAQ. That's this level here. I have a 3-day low going back to Wednesday. That's a pretty decent gap. If we open underneath that, why can't NVIDIA be at the 80 level? And if it can't hold 880, I mean, that's 850. So, it's not looking great, and it's all crypto's fault.
Yeah, I want to thank, it is all crypto's fault, yeah. I do want to thank Jeff Mendel. This is what the Ethereum trust looks like. It's actually a really easy thing to trade once the market's going. There's tons of liquidity, and it's fantastic. So it's just like that IBIT, it's just like all these names, as you'll be able to watch and see, as the market will fall down. I only have BTC at the bottom, but if you're sort of quoting Ethereum and, looking at the market, this is also a very, very good tool to start to trade. It has done more volume than this. We just only quote certain exchanges printing in the pre-market, so you're gonna have to, watch this exchange, watch the markets, and hopefully be able to catch that when we get back. So we'll wait to see on Ethereum, and then, we're watching. I mean, it's still losing right now. I mean, BTC is starting to get lower and lower right now, breaking through 65. There it goes. So there's 37,000. I've written down on the sticky note, which is going to be out in 2 minutes, 36 trying to hold. So this could be something that we look at, and I'm guessing it's in and around 64,000, because not nice. We can look at all the coins. They're all down today, obviously. If the big guy goes, then they all go. So that level, yes, sir.
It is.
That little sound used to be like, but now it's kind of like,
now it's a good
yes,
sound.
it's Randy's here, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
We were just talking about BYD there, selling a lot of cars in China, up 46%. Tesla's still up, though, which was nice on their sales.
Rivian had their numbers out as well.
Rivian had decent numbers, but Rivian's coming to the downside here. And then crypto, Randy, look at this big red candle right here. Bang to the downside as Bitcoin gives back all, actually, it's only really 1 week, right? That's 7 days right there coming back in. Randy, you think we're going to hold this 60,000?
No, probably not.
No, probably not. Okay. Well, that's a crypto minute right there because yeah, we got to turn those things into bears.
Real enthusiastic.
If we're coming back into this, this is the level. If we break this, then you're gonna probably fill this gap, which comes back into 50. So you gotta, every single yeah, exactly. This is where we were talking about buying it on the podcast. There's Jag there on the podcast. But yeah, you break this level, I just feel like a lot of stops are gonna get triggered. And when they do, like Neil said, where will people let this thing fall into? I could see the next area of support being 50. I mean, let's not talk about down here. I don't, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Crypto 40. So we'll wait. We ain't talking about Bruno. Oh, we're talking about Bruno now? The one thing I have to talk about is I was lucky enough that, and she's probably taking the kids to school, although the school is about 5 feet from my house.
150.
150 feet, yeah, maybe 150 meter dash.
Yeah, maybe.
Something like that, they run to school. For some reason, my lovely wife, 13 years ago today, was convinced to say I do. So
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how that happened. So it's an anniversary day today in the Katina household. So yeah, so happy anniversary, Marisa. Sorry about the last 13. Hopefully the next 13 will be much better.
So are you?
It's lace. We don't actually do that.
I looked it up because there's like traditional anniversary gifts, and I'm just curious because 13 years is lace apparently. So you can. I mean, whatever. I'm not even gonna go down that road. No, but yeah, congratulations.
I wonder what year 12 was. We don't do that, but that would be kind of fun.
No, it is.
It makes gift giving so easy.
Because that way, I do it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's what I do for my wife. Because it's you look it up, you find something creative,
unique.
And it's unique every single year. Sometimes it's like a really weird and lame thing. But my memory outside of the bachelor party, golf was fun. But I tell it every single time we talk about your marriage, and that's the fact that you actually got to do the intro that you wanted, which I thought was really
fun.
cool. And this is not throwing shade at my wedding when I didn't get to do the intro that I wanted. Shout out to Coming to America that I wanted to play the saxophone from that, and then roll into that. But you guys did the WWE.
Yeah, we all came in as kind of
sick.
wrestlers. I was like Hulk Hogan there. I ripped off my shirt and everything.
It was Joe.
Came in. It was fun. That was a lot of fun, and.
Some people really got.
My brother was Bret Hart. They all got dressed up. Everybody got dressed up. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, happy anniversary to Marissa and to anybody else out there celebrating anything today because it is April 2nd, and I thought yesterday someone would have had something planned for April Fools, but we got away with nothing. So that was really fun.
I'll tell you this right now.
I was like so on pins and needles. I was like I didn't want to say anything, thinking that something was planned, and then nothing happened. So we survived another April Fool's year.
It was basically just some people a lot of viewers were trying to troll us in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw something.
But outside of that, no one really had any good gags, which is a bit of a disappointment.
We survived.
Oh well, here's what it is.
We should have had some ourselves, I guess.
I had something that I wanted to do with with Sharif, but he's not even here, so
no.
What are you gonna do?
We gotta get some pictures from Sharif. Sharif, if you're watching on those camels, man, send some pictures. It's probably really good. There's probably really good internet over there. Oh, by the way, we are on. Where's that? What can they scan? Do we have something up to this where they can scan everything that we're doing live or anything like that? No, because I just want to tell people we're live right now on TikTok. Are we live on TikTok? Or are we booted off that? We're live on Instagram. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube.
Yep.
And I don't know, Brendan, are we going to be going live on Rumble anytime soon or what? TBD. And
just walk down the street and hook it up.
Yeah, we're in discussions with Rumble.
Negotiations.
Maybe not. All right, back over to the desk.
Yeah, China hasn't been our friend lately, kicking us off TikTok. But apparently it's working now, so all good. Here's Apple, about 0.6, still holding on to 169. I was just glancing through some analyst notes this morning. And Adara, I haven't seen any on Apple today, so sign of how slow this week could be.
Yeah, I mean, we had one little one yesterday on Apple from Loop Capital, but other than that, not much. I do have one upgrade and one downgrade coming from Citigroup, so I'll bring those to you guys here. Here's Estee Lauder, EL, bit of a mixed daily chart here, getting an upgrade from Citigroup to a buy rating with a $175 price target, so a bit of an increase from their previous price target of $160. Now on the other end, also from Citigroup, we get a downgrade here for Clorox. So this is a bit of a messier chart here. Clorox getting a downgrade to neutral. Price target decrease from 170 to 165 here for CLX. Those are the main things I'm seeing here. Just these one upgrade, one downgrade, both from Citigroup. So a bit of a slow week for sure so far.
To a fun exercise. I mean, anyone watching, go out to a daily chart on any of the indexes. Volume yesterday was pretty dry. NASDAQ was a little bit higher than Friday or Thursday at least, but pretty light volume across the board. DJTS, a couple people were touching on this real quick, not doing a heck of a lot this morning after the big move down yesterday on that, what was it, 58 million loss or something in that neighborhood that they came out with preliminary earnings anyways, not as good as people were hoping, but DJT a little bit active here so far this morning as well. All right, let's get into everything we need to know here as we head towards the open, as always, at 9 o'clock. If you haven't done so, grab that. It's free. Why not? We'll talk crypto here to kick things off, as we saw with BTC. Downside pretty big way, 66. Seems to be a thing right now. It's in that neighborhood. 4.8% for Coinbase. I mean, you can look at some of the ETFs. I was looking at MAR as well earlier on this morning, but all of these in and around that same kind of number. 5.5%. Some of the mining names a little bit worse off here.
Yeah, so in terms of the mining names, we do have Coinbase here, some insider sells. Kathy Wood selling Kathy Wood's ARK Invest selling about 7,000 shares here, valued at $1.78 million. Also an insider sale here from Coinbase's president and COO selling about 1,500 shares to roughly $390,000. So a couple major sells here for Coin heading into today.
Yeah, we have continued or extended these declines on Bitcoin, meanwhile, back to 65.5-ish right now.
I'm just kind of curious why that we have that turkey shot up. Look at the Trader TV. No, like it was on the last one.
I think I had that turkey up there from chicken dinner winner thing.
The other thing about Kathy Wood also sold Robinhood.
Yeah, we could talk about, is Robinhood?
That's actually
actually, so it's up
yeah, my bad. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, Coinbase has been, again, 4 days there. We had one little day that we bounced around 260. Once we lost 260, I mean, now you do that same level again. We've talked about, this level. Like you're going to want to try to get some bases happening here. When the market goes down, I feel like there's less transacting on Coinbase. Like we had Canoe on, and it is 100% true. If you try to sell, like if the price of Bitcoin right now is 65,000 and you're going to try to sell one Bitcoin, you're probably paying like 63,000. So the amount of fees and everything that Coinbase collects on all of the transactions and on the spread and on all that margin business and what they do there is actually highway robbery, but we still continue to do it. But this is the question I have for you. When you see Bitcoin, that's right. When you see Bitcoin making, but meanwhile, don't worry, you want to know about what these guys are spending their money on, like the insiders on this one. I mean, just go back and read all about the IPO and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be investing in Canoe EV because you think they have responsible management. But look, so the bottom line here about Coinbase is, I feel that there's Tesla news. There was Tesla news on screen. We'll get that up in a second again. But what I want to get at quickly about Coinbase, I'll go over to Tesla, was that as people begin or continue to, Tesla vehicle production, delivery day financial results, webcast for first quarter. It's here on Benzinga. I can throw it back if they have more over there. There
38.6 versus 450.
Yeah, I have it right here. So there it is, 412. 36.9, not good. So this is not a good number there, I'm guessing. So we'll see. Now there goes Tesla. We talked about this. I said Apple's going to have a 150 target on it. Looks like Tesla gets that stat as there we go to the downside. Okay, my story about Coinbase was as the market goes down, people more hodl, so less transactions because nobody wants to sell on the way down. That's my story about Coinbase. But wow, Tesla is starting this story off real nice, like with a big move down. Where do we stop, man? I mean, we've already been down here before.
160.
Yeah, we've been down here before. 160. So wow, there we go again. Okay, so maybe let's throw it back if there is more information over there.
And as you guys mentioned, versus 433, so a big miss there. Again, 387 versus 433,000 vehicles in the quarter. The Q1 Model 3 wide deliveries 369,783 units. Model 3 production, or Model 3 and Y production, was 412,376 units. That's also a miss, it would appear, to the downside. So across the board, not great here. Q1 other models production. So take away the Model 3, take away the Model Y, everything else, they produced 20,995 units, also slightly downside. So yeah, huge move down here for Tesla. Hey, guess what? It's next on the list. That's convenient.
That's very convenient indeed there with TSLA. I have the daily chart up here, and definitely continuing to the downside, gapping down about $11 here right now. It's interesting, we also did get their China sales number. So that was 89,064 China-made cars sold in March. That was a 0.2% increase from year over year. But what's interesting too is total EV sales in China were rising 33% year over year. So Tesla certainly up a little bit, 0.2%, but definitely not up to the extent of EVs in general. So definitely showing a little bit of weakness in China, despite about a 47% increase month over month. So yeah, definitely some mixed sentiment there.
They're pointing to, when it comes to the decline in volumes in Q1, they're pointing to the early phase of production ramp up and updated Model 3 at their Fremont factory, and also the factory shutdown to prepare for that ramp up. So partially due to some upgrades, guys, here.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you miss expectations like that, say whatever you want about it, it's not going to be seen as good. Just for a note, SSR and 10% will be at 157.70. So it will actually have to break that bottom at 160 that we just came from, like literally just a couple weeks ago. So that's where we could be headed. I'm just looking previous support levels under here to short the pops. So that's 166, and then from there, like 168. I was going to draw a line in there. So 66 and 68 is where I would be looking to short the pops. And as far as like sympathy plays go, I mean, I know you got the Rivian numbers. It's worth noting that Rivian's initial reaction was like to the upside, and it's not really doing anything. Like the volume, like it was doing volume, and now all of a sudden all that volume's in Tesla. So it's a Tesla story today. If it SSR bounces at 157.7 or somewhere around that range, I think you cross that bridge when you get there. For now, I'm going to be looking to short pops. Not a great look by Tesla, and observing the trend that it's been in, I still don't see a reason why, based on this trend, it's not headed to the 150. This trend line's been in there for about the year now. Lower highs and lower lows. It is what it is. So that 150 seems like it's going to be in play in the coming days.
So yesterday was the first time in my trading history that I didn't have one long yesterday on the show. So, yeah, yesterday we were short everything. Today the market's down another 1%. It would have been nice to be able to hold things. We can't hold anything over here. But yeah, Tesla with a big miss there, starting to come back in a little bit here to the upside. I'm going to be shorting against that 168 as well. So let's see where we go right now with Tesla. It looks like it's trying to bounce a little bit. Feels like this is overdone, but the market's still 20 minutes before we even open. So hard to give a judgment call this early other than what the market's telling you. And you have that 160 marker right there. So if you guys were with me yesterday, honestly, we were short NVIDIA. We were short Meta 497. We were short NVIDIA 910, 908. We were short Meta up here for, like I just mentioned, 497. It's at 488. We were short Apple. We didn't have any longs, not one long yesterday. The loss was on, we were short AMD at 183. That was a loss short. That's at 180 right now, obviously, as that continues to go down. And the other short that we had yesterday was Rivian short, that we wound up losing on an 1120 short. So, you know, obviously the market continues to go downside. We were smelling out yesterday that the market was going to be a problem, and it was. And then now today it's even a bigger one. So watch out now. You're down 1%. The market is going to get its teeth out today. So be very, very careful.
All right, here we were talking all positively to start things off, but not the case at this point. This is not going to help either for the overall market with Tesla. But this was a note on Apple this morning. Some more details coming out on this realm, if you want to make it realm out of that. Re-ALM. Whatever. Anyways, we're going to find out more details about their AI coming up at the event in June.
Yeah, I think this will be really interesting. Basically, to kind of summarize here, there is this paper about that ReALM, which stands for Reference Resolution as Language Modeling, which is basically they're saying kind of their version of ChatGPT-4. So it'll be interesting to see how this competes. Right now, most of what we have here is from that research paper, which was published on March 29th, but from Apple researchers with Apple emails attached to the paper. So certainly very much an Apple-related project, which will, of course, be very interesting leading up to WWDC 2024.
Yeah, coming up in June. Not going to matter much, unfortunately, here with this move in the market, though.
Yeah, you're not getting. I mean, you're not getting anything good this morning. Crypto under pressure, yields higher. Apple was already weak. Tesla was already weak and then just got worse. So there's not. I mean, I'm searching for what's the positive catalyst. Like, what are we going to get? And then we have JOLTS at 10 o'clock. Oh goodness. We'll see what happens when that number comes out. But for Apple, this is still only down 0.7%. So it's not the volatility that you're seeing, obviously, in Tesla and some other names. But the trend is what it is. I still think it's a short back into 170. You just probably have to, look for lower levels now. If it creeps back above 169, I'll look at 169.5 to start working into that. And as said earlier when we mentioned Apple the first time, you've got 67 as the March low, and then you got 65 as the October lows, where I'd expect to see some buyers on Apple. Those are pretty decent levels, and they held up nicely the first time through. And when you bounced off that 165, that's when it made the run almost to $200. So I'd suspect if we do see that big of a day downside over here in Apple, this would be the day to look out for a 165 long, I think. If we do end up with like a 2% down kind of day in the NASDAQ, maybe we could see something like that. But that's the level to wait for, I think, on Apple.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I just want to go short again today. I don't know if I'll have a long unless we get, like Neil mentioned, like down into some troubled areas here. But here's a nice little move up, and we just went to 168.80, and now we're coming right back into the 50 period. We have VWAP right there, and then we have the 200 all the way up here. So there's a couple levels that we're going to be able to look at right off the open. It is the number 2. Actually, I just said that, and I actually remembered. I just said that the only long I would take today would be Apple, but the number 1 idea, and we're not going to get to this, is Alibaba at 72. I still really like this level, and I wrote it down. I mean, it's funny because now we have all that Tesla in our mind, but this name, again, still stronger than the market. It was already down here today. Look at this move up before sort of this started to happen. We were getting back upside right there to begin with. So I was like, oh man, this is going to be a good trade. So I really think a dip down in BABA. But okay, the other trade here would just be Apple. I think we're under 170. It's the same reasons why I wrote down Meta on the sticky note today as well. You're under 500. We shorted yesterday 497. I didn't think we were getting this. Like yesterday, Meta's doing this in the pre-market rate, basically where we are right now, 487, 488. The thing rips up $10, and we're like, thank you very much. And we took that trade. So for me to write down and think that, we're starting at the same levels. If we can get back up here, man, this to me is going to be the short as well. So I feel that there's a very good opportunity we could pop a little bit here off the open. And if we do, then Apple is part of that plan as well, a short into 170. I don't think you're going to go wrong shorting this name here today. And if you're in trouble with it, it's pretty easy to get out, man. You have that tall wick right there to 170.25. That could be your out if you short it. For me, though, no. I'm not getting out until we break like 171. So my plan of action is to short it if we can get in here, to short more of it if we get into here, and then to get completely run over if we break through 171. So let's wait to see what happens on Apple. I like to short, and it's something that we'll have to wait for.
All right, let's go on to Robinhood here. Also downside, obviously, with the overall market. Whoops, HOOD, not HOD. Big move down, almost 6% at this point. Cathie Wood in there selling a whole bunch yesterday, on top of the fact that we've had this multiple day in a row now, day 2 or 3 anyway, move down in BTC.
Yeah, certainly not helping Robinhood. Basically, the details of the Cathie Wood sale here, that ARC selling about 663,796 shares valued at just under 13 million. So 12.88 million. This is across 3 of their ETFs as well. They also sold some last week, so some continued selling here coming out of ARC. Of course, as well, with Cathie Wood selling Coinbase with the overall move down in Bitcoin, as you mentioned, they're certainly not helping matters as well.
My apologies, Cathie. I spelled your name wrong today. There we go. All good. 15. This was yesterday, by the way. So she was selling Robinhood, but she picked up 15 million of Tesla shares ahead of this number this morning, guys.
I mean, I'm glad I don't invest in anything, Cathie Wood. No, you have a lot of explaining to do. Yeah, no, she has been pretty bad at all of this, in and out and picking the times. But we heard that she had sold Coinbase the day before it really went up 10 or 15%. And now you're finding out that she bought more Tesla yesterday. I mean, fine, she believes in the name, and that's great. But obviously, thought she heard a whisper number or something that was opposite of what actually happened. So, all right, I like Robinhood. Robinhood's on the sticky note today. We've talked about sort of, I wrote down like a gap fill back into like 13 here. It didn't gap, but it's just, we had so many nice moves up, and then we gapped from here from 18 to 21, and then now you're trying to get back down. I just really wonder if the real settling down is somewhere, between 13 and 14, maybe even at 15 here, where the 50-period moving average is. So I want to be short until we break through 20 on this name. I wrote down like yesterday's close. I thought yesterday's close was going to be good at 1925, but that's when we were looking at this stock at 1850, 1860. Now you're all the way down here and continuing to go lower, down 6%. There is a short float in this name, so a possible pop up to 19. I'm already sitting there. I'm sitting at 19 right now to take some fills if available. So if that comes through, I'm short Robinhood, and I'll deal with it after that. But I'm going to be short this name. I'm definitely not going long. So we'll wait for Robinhood to pop in there, and if it does, it does. If it doesn't, then maybe we punch through 18. But obviously, there's bigger fish to fry here. Like now, I'm looking.
I never say never, because the $15 level is pretty massive. For like, if things get really ridiculous, there's always somewhere that I would trade the other direction. No question about it. But when I put my note out this morning, it's a similar area, but I just came down to previous support to resistance, and that's it. It was 1940, and then down here you've got 1920. So that was the zone that I wanted to short out in front of. I don't think we see that today. So without that, there's a potential flat bottom break in here. Why can't I zoom out? Oh, yeah, it's this thing. Do that, then zoom back out. It looks a little bit like a flat bottom break here, even at 18.20, let alone $18. I'll play for the pop and fade first, because I'm like. But now all of a sudden it's like, I like a pop and fade in Tesla and Apple and Mara and Robinhood, and even I look back and it's like, oh yeah, Palantir, the levels from yesterday, short. I like those too. So at the open, you're going to have to pick your spots. NVIDIA, 891. We didn't even talk about that one. Like NVIDIA had this flat bottom break at 891. I like the short under there on NVIDIA. So you're really going to have to pick your spots. And I feel like it's a lower probability that Robinhood's going to run $1 from here to get to that level. Whereas NVIDIA popping $4 to get into that short zone, I feel like that's a little more realistic. Or Apple popping into 170 than Robinhood getting to that. I mean, it could happen. But I just think it's highly unlikely Robinhood gets to that level.
All right, Darren and I were just talking about this GOEV mess today. So they come out with guidance that is horrible. Downside huge after the close yesterday. This note is pretty embarrassing, I think, as far as the company is concerned as well. The CEO's private jet expenses were basically almost double the entire company's revenue.
Yeah, it was very bad.
Like what?
Yeah, so from what I'm seeing, this is in the watch list as well. You guys can totally check this out. I believe it was just under 900,000 for revenue for the year. Tony Akia, which is the CEO, his jet expenses were $1.7 million. So pretty horrifying. And as Brendan was just getting at their expectations for revenue were in the range of 50 million to 100 million. The estimate was up 152 million. So that is a third. The lower range was a third of the actual initial estimate there. That being said, they did still receive a buy rating here from H.C. Wainwright with a $7 price target due to the fact that they reverse split on March 8th. That was at least the reason given by H.C. Wainwright for that interesting choice.
And here is that chart. Just to remind everyone, this thing has already reverse split once to get back above that dollar mark, guys.
And the crazy thing is, on the reverse split, like it's now, the level that it's at, like that high off the reverse split was like 266 or 267. So it's pulling back into that level. And if it doesn't hold on to it, like why not 2? Why not 150? You start to look at some nastiness. The thing about the 886,000 in revenue, the good news is that's up from 0 the year before. So infinity revenue growth year over year, that's not bad. But when you start having going concern issues, then to me, once you say that, you're looking for some short squeezes. Now, I didn't double check, but I should do it. I can just do it right now on Trade Ideas. What are we at right now in the short? 12% short float, not a gigantic. Obviously, the float got a lot smaller after the split. It's only like 78 million. It's already done like 1 million shares today. So there is always a chance it can squeeze. I said I wanted to sit in consolidation short on these types of names. So that's what we did at 87. It shorted to 70s, got back in. It consolidated off 77, 78 in there, shorted some right at like 76, and then added to it on a breakdown here. So I just feel like if it's underneath 80 at the open, looking for the short. If it breaks that, then wait for 3. If it breaks 3, it's probably squeezing a little bit, and I would sit that out and look for another opportunity to be short. I think all of this is bad, and it doesn't help that the market's looking poor as well. Like, it doesn't bode well. But the crazy thing about it is what this did after reverse splitting. It did a squeeze. Like, this stock did a squeeze after reverse split and quadrupled from the bottom. And then now you're having going concern issues. So, I mean, if there's buyers today, I will not be one of them on GOEV.
Yeah, I won't even be a trader of it, but it's going to be a good name to trade for sure. Yeah, those expenses seem to be a little. I mean, if your company is not producing anything, I mean, just fly coach, man, and then you don't have to worry about any of this. But he knew the company is dead, so whatever. Enjoy your life, man. I mean, this is why you got to know who your management companies are and stuff like that. I know a lot of us invest in companies and we don't. And I'm actually talking like this because of Elon Musk, actually. Like, here you go down 7 and a bit percentage points. There is obviously some kind of, and I just tweeted that out, by the way. I put it like with that little gulp emoji because you are getting down into that 160 area right now for Tesla. So I don't. You know, that's not a good number out of China there. I mean, we've talked about this, although Nike's numbers out of China were fine. You know, this starting to lose. Look, like all of these Chinese names now. And I did this yesterday and I was wrong about Starbucks. But, you know, some of these names will start to pull back in here. Maybe that Chinese economy is just not as strong over there as I guess we sort of thought. They had a higher CPI print. The Chinese economy was starting to battle, or market was starting to battle back a little bit right there. But there it comes back in again as the yen is super low, our US dollar is super high. And we're just going to have to figure out what's happening here across the border. We still like that Alibaba, but yeah, wow. That Tesla, let me just see what's going on with Rivian because, okay, so that still continued to go lower. Is there anything happening in any of the Chinese EV names? I mean, just because Tesla had a bad print doesn't necessarily mean that these guys would, but you would think that that's a knock on the economy as well. So there's NEO, XPEV as well. Let's have a check at this. Are they all down 3%? Yeah, it looks like they're all going to be down 3%. And then there's Li Auto. Again, I haven't looked at these in a minute. So Li Auto actually up. So
what?
Yeah, there we go. NVIDIA, as this market is now down 1.17%. We shorted this name yesterday. Really great trade at the end of the day. We wound up making $8 there as we were short into this area at the end of the day. You guys remember that? And we're daring it to break 905, and then bang, we got 898 at the end of the day before a nice move up. Well, look at this waterfall, man. Don't go chasing waterfalls, Adara, as I know she likes TLC.
It's true.
There's a nice move to the downside. And by the way, I saw them
like
perform
TLC.
at the last night at the iHeartRadio Awards. Bad, by the way, very bad. But anyways, still legends. I'm not saying they're not just at some point you don't perform.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Father Time is undefeated. Like,
That is for sure. But I mean, there's some. I mean, look, I saw that halftime show with Snoop Dogg and
no, don't get me
Eminem
wrong.
and Dre and
There's
all that.
plenty of legends.
And then anyways, they're TLC. TLC hasn't been.
I'll cop to this, and because I told my wife this right now. Like, straight up, when I was in junior high, like I was like the biggest T-Boss fan. Like I was like T-Boss is the ish.
Yeah,
like,
don't
that
look
was,
now.
I'm just saying. No, I didn't see it last night. But anyways, I'm still a fan of them. I wanted to get this one out of the way because I don't think we talked about GE. And for anyone, do not freak out. Do not panic on General. If you own General Electric shares, you probably know what's going on here. So there's a spinoff. They already spun off the healthcare division. That's GEHC. They're now spinning off their health. Sorry, yeah, already did healthcare. Their energy. So GEV.NY is the energy and division, and now GE is the aerospace. So I think you're going to get for every one share, or for every 4 shares of GE, you get 1 of GEV. So all it's done is corrected back down to, like, it's technically speaking, after the split, it's actually trading flat right now. So if you factor in the conversion, then this is actually trading flat. So don't freak out if you own GE, and if you own General Electric GE shares, I think as of I think it was like mid-March or something like that. You have to check the date, and if you own shares, you probably know. Then you've got some GEV shares, which are trading for the first time today. I don't think there's much of a trade there. I'm not planning on trading GE, but no need to freak out, everybody. You're good to go with that.
Yeah, just real quick. I wanted to mention this earlier, but completely forgot. This started trading, this is an ETF, started trading March 26th, I think it was. Yeah, March 26th on the NYSE. Not a heck of a lot of volume, but this thing debuted around 850. It's since touched a high just north of $30 and is in a bit of a pullback now to about 24 bucks. This is what's in it. Neil, SpaceX, Axiom Space, Boom Supersonic, Epic Games, and then down here, there's 3.8% of OpenAI in this thing as well. So crazy price action on this DXYZ in the first week.
That was really quick. Can we throw that back up, just the names that were in the percentages? Yeah, like Epic Games at the 4, okay. But I feel like, let's be realistic for a split second. If you're buying this, you're buying it because of SpaceX. It's 34% of it. You want exposure to that. Like, that's the reason. But I'm looking at the volume and spread here. Is this a trade? It's probably more of like a take a shot investment kind of thing. Maybe like if you want SpaceX, buy this on dips. Man, I wish I was. It is what it is. You got to take vacation when you take vacation. But this seems like if you could have had this back at like $10. Everyone wants to be in a piece of SpaceX. Although on a day like today, I don't know that you want to be picking up bids when I look at that list of companies there on DXYZ. Speaking of things that just came to the market, I do not want to forget DJT is holding underneath the conversion bottom at 51.5, and now you got that 50. 50 was the almost exact top here in the afternoon. So it's kind of like an over-under game, I think, with this. Maybe a squeeze play if it can get through 50, but if it can't bust 50, we just got to 250. What the hell, GOEV? This thing was not moving. All right, I'm out of GOEV. Bye-bye, GOEV. It just hit 250 in one flash. There's actually some bidders down here at the 50 level. I was just sitting in front of it.
That might be going all the way, man.
Yeah, you know what? This might be filling the entire thing in. I thought if it could go from 280 to 250, that was going to be good because that was this support level in here. But if it's going to bust 50 at the open, we're going to look for other shorts. There's just nothing looking great this morning. I wish I could tell you there was some positive catalyst today, but the next one is going to be the first one I see.
All right, well, hey, with only 1 minute to go right now, always nice to start the day with a W, so that's a good one right there. Yeah, we're going to watch Bitcoin. There it comes, man. It's just broke 65,000, so I'd say peace to that one, and I'll see you maybe at 6. I mean, I think 64 could hold. We've already gone over the charts, but I mean, if we break into there, then I think that 61 level that we've talked about is in danger there. And then that IBIT down at 36. You know, maybe we're sitting there in case you get a flush because we've sort of bounced off 36. We have wicked lower than that for sure. 35.60 is the low wick there. So if you did want anything in that area, I think that's worth it. So right now, just to go over a couple where I'm sitting, I'm waiting for Apple at 170. That may or may not come in. The most likely trade to come in would be this long right here on Alibaba. 71, 75 break, I'm gone. I only want this name because I won't be able to live with myself if we keep waiting for 72, it comes in and I don't take it. Then we're waiting high side on Robinhood at 19. I mean, that could come in. And then the one that actually could come in is Tesla. Right now, I'm going to try a short in and around here, man, against 168. So let's see if we get a 165 print up here on Tesla.
I think it's gonna take 165 right at the open on Tesla. Count Mara on that, but we got to get that countdown in 3, 2, and 1. Ring it.
All right, so I have my stop order now in for Tesla. Let's see if it does get up to that level right now. Like, I'm talking about that 165. Yeah, well, 168 would be where I'd get out. Okay, so we are now in position into Tesla right now. Let's just see, here he comes up. I mean, this is what I'm saying, right? We might be off on thinking that this name's a short, but we are short right now at 165.60. So let's take a piece out for $1 if it does break back down below. There it comes. Let's go. I mean, there already. Okay, there it is, man. $1 already right there on Tesla on the trade that we described for you. So we'll have to wait to see where that's going. Apple is going to the downside as well, but we're already in Tesla, and that's your Dollar Club winner right there to start the day. But Apple bouncing off 169.20, making that huge flush into 168. Hey, man, the Tesla story's not over. This is going to be a very, very violent name. We could be reverse Dollar Club very, very soon here. So be very careful. We already took out 1/3 of Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla is screaming back into the upside. I got a 66 short on it, but I'm also in GOEV. Is that pop? There was some size on GOEV, and I popped in front of it. I put my offer out on Mara. I'm just going to get a first bid on Tesla out there. I put an offer out on Mara as it was coming to the upside. It failed 20.5. I want to be short this one, and if we're not going to get 21s, I got to look at 20.5. So just adjusting that order there. But as you said, it's Tesla down here at 164. There's buyers at 164 on this. So, I'm in GOEV, I'm in Tesla. I do want to get Mara as well, but I don't want to chase it. Let's calm it down. We didn't mention Alphabet, but very quickly, this market is flushing. Alphabet bounced $1.50 off the bottom and was really strong off the open here. So just respect the strength I see in Alphabet. Maybe this is a long at some point, given what I'm seeing here. It was super strong, 52-week high yesterday as well.
18.2. I think the market can get to 18.2 maybe. Okay, so here we go. We are waiting for 167 right now on Tesla. We did talk about that. We just missed that though. How high did that go there? That came pretty close, man. 166.70 or something. Oh man. Now we have a good one. One more time. Spin that again, man. We are now in another dollar right there. We'll take some out at 164. Although I am bidding 162 on this name, but you know, whatever.
That's low a day.
Yeah. Hopefully we get down into 162 and then we break that. But again, this name could easily rip up. It actually is finding a base here in and around 165. So that's an interesting name for me. I did switch my offers on Apple into 169.50. That's kind of where we wicked up to. That's the 200 period. Now, I don't know if we're going to get there. It looks like we will not, but we never know where this name will go. The other name that we wanted to look at earlier on was going to be Robinhood. Oopsies, let's put that up here. Robinhood right now, and let's see what that's getting at here. So again,
Holy
nice
Mara.
move up. We did bounce down into 18, failed on that break, and now back up to view up again. This could be a good fade here at this level. I'm still trying to watch out for Tesla though. That's the only trade that I have on. Maybe it's time to get aggressive here.
Smoked.
Mara's getting smoked. Well, Bitcoin is getting killed.
Yeah, Mara broke 20 right quick. So,
Unfortunately.
I'm just going to cancel
Where's
my offer.
Coinbase
I'm not getting 20.5s anymore. Going to have to look at that 20 level. NVIDIA, we tried to short the pop there. It never even gave us a fill. Yeah, I don't know where Coinbase is, but IBIT is breaking lows right now. Yeah, you're not even... You really gotta hit the bid to try to grab those shorts. Double checking Apple here, no chance of the fill on Apple as well. NVIDIA is absolutely.
All right, you know what?
Okay, sorry about the chart here. I got a bit of bad wick on NVIDIA. 890 was a top. I just tried to grab 899s in front of 90s and couldn't get it. So I'm looking to short pops, want to be pretty patient here. It's looking pretty nasty. Even DJT we were talking about, this is actually the only thing that went up outside of Google. It broke that 50 level. So thank goodness that we didn't short this one, as it's actually looking like a bit of a squeeze here on DJT.
Oh man, yeah, DJT was a nightmare yesterday, down 21%. Okay, so we just got another fill there on Tesla. So fire off the hot dog cannons, man. I mean, another good day here so far for us, as we only have 2 trades on. We are short Apple right now at 72. So we're just short Apple right here, right now. I'm not, again, you know, let's wait to see. We're hoping for lower. I am bidding right now on Apple. No, I am not. Okay, I'm bidding 55s, my bad. So hopefully we can come in and get a 50 fill here on Apple, and then we'll deal with it a lot lower than that, into the 30s, 40s, and see how low we can go. Here we go, man. Let's go. The real trade for me right now is Tesla. Tesla's starting to cook. So this is a good trade, man. We took this short. We talked about this, hopefully enough that it was convincing enough. But here we go. It's starting to come in, man. Now $1.50 in the money on this short. Pretty much one of the easiest trades because we haven't broken higher on this name yet, so you really haven't had to battle this name, so that's the trades that we like. Apple, on the other hand, I feel like it's not giving me those same definitive feels right now as this market is trying to figure itself out. So we're already out of half of everything here, so far so good on Tesla as we wait for a much, much lower bid coming through. I'm bidding 162.25.
Yeah, look, my style of trading, I'm out of 2/3 of it. I'm looking for that bottom. It's just that was a huge rally, and you're starting to see some pressure on the 164 on Tesla over there. Google's still looking relatively strong, but I don't want to ignore what's happening in some of these crypto names. Like, you just saw 19.5 on Mara. I feel like that ticked SSR for a split second. I think we just went down 10% on Mara, almost to the penny, and then a little bit of a bounce. So I'm expecting that you might see a bounce in Mara that might get you to that $20 level for a bit of a short. And then Coinbase did not flush nearly as much as Mara there. So for whatever reason, a little bit more strength in Coinbase. I'd be careful of a squeeze over in that name. The strength is still in Alphabet. Relatively speaking, it's trying to put in a higher low. If this holds on to 153, it's like the only game in town if you're even looking for strength. Not that I am. I don't think you have to fight it. I'm still looking to get some shorts in there, notably Mara, if it can bounce into this 20.
Okay, here we go. Nice upside move here for Tesla. We're going to wait to get a little bit more short. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with this trade. Let's just see if it will work or continue to work for us. But Apple, all right, so we're looking at this 200 period. I was going to mess with 170. Okay, but we started it a little bit earlier. Sorry, that's the daily chart. That won't help us. But we started the trade a little bit earlier than maybe we thought. So I feel like if this does break back above this 169.50, maybe we'll exit it. So far it's fine. It's not doing much. But we can regroup on this. We talked about how you could turn a great day into a disastrous one by staying in something that's not working. So if we can come up into here, 169.40, 169.50, and then break that, that's kind of these pre-market levels as well, then we'll get out of this. So that's my plan right there. We should have just reloaded Tesla, of course, as I sit there and talk about Apple, but up to 166 again is an absolute no-brainer. We are actually waiting for that. I'm waiting. I was at 166.50, but we missed that. So let's see a downside move in both these names. So far, so good, man. Like I said, this is going to be a trophy day already, but we only have 2 trades and we're looking for more. So let's get to the downside right now. It's Tesla for a $1 and $2 winner right now. Come on, Tesla. Break yourself into this area. 162.50 would be nice. That's where I'm going to put my bid.
Actually, I'm already sitting at, I like 44s. Oddly enough, I did that Daryl Strawberry thing yesterday for orders around the mids. Yeah. I'm still, I just got a position in Mara at 1980. We want to be short into that $20 level, so we let it come up. I wanted Palantir as well after yesterday's flush, but I mean, give me a break. You know, you're not getting back into the previous low. So whether we get a fill or not in the 22, like 25 range seems relatively unlikely. So Mara is the only new position, and we're still in GOEV. That just popped back down into the 40 level. I want to work back into the 280s if we can, but it's seemingly like just bouncing all over the place. Actually has a 2-cent spread on it at times. Mara, if it holds underneath 20, I don't see why you couldn't see 19, but keep an eye on BTC in general. I'm watching IBIT, So if you hear me quote prices, it's probably from IBIT. If this gets back above like 37.10, 37.20, you got to watch out for any shorts in some of the crypto names. Still some strength in Google. So if this market does show any signs of life, which it's not, by the way, that's the only place I'd be looking for a long.
Dara has something.
Dara?
Keep an eye on this kid pick here. PIK is the ticker for this one, up about 45%. Really strong volume here right off the open. They did announce a merger agreement with Nina Footwear, but the big thing here to keep in mind is really small float, about 435,000 shares. 10% of that is going to be short float. PIK, guys.
All right, Apple's starting to work, man. We're short at 81s. We just took a bid at 70 here. We're bidding 55s as well. Apple's starting to come in a little bit for us as well. So we'll go 2 for 2 here today with Tesla and Apple, and they're both been pretty good. But the thing about this Tesla is, okay, come on, let's go market, let's go. Yesterday, 0 longs on the board, and right now here today, it seems like that will work one more time as we just go double shorts, man. The double-barreled action coming to you live here at Trader TV Live on those shorts right now. I mean, that's all we're short. We're all short everything right now. As Mara's right there, watch out for Bitcoin 65 approaching. Here comes Meta to the downside again. I guess we should have noticed Meta, and we didn't. So again, my bad on that one. But Meta touches the 200 period up there at 490, basically 489.
NVIDIA 880.
NVIDIA 880. Oh, that's a buy the dip. I may go in there and buy NVIDIA dip today in my own account if that is the case. But there's a nice push down. Let's go. Yes, Apple, you are the one. My guy. So nice little move down for Apple, as that's going to be a good one, man. We reloaded that trade. And when you know that when we reload it, then we're excited about that one. So let's get to the downside here for Apple. It's hopefully going to be a big one. One more piece out here at 52, and now we'll wait for that 168.30 level that we have marked off.
Yeah, so I actually missed the break on NVIDIA there and got it on the way back up, which is not always a good sign. So I'm going to have to jump out of this one. If it takes out 881, I don't like getting trade in the wrong direction. Now, sometimes you'll get that break if you're aggressive enough with your order. I can flat out say I was not. I should have had that one down to like 50s or something like that. And I think I crossed only to I crossed 25 cents down, which is just, I have this habit of crossing 25 cents on this stock when you've got to go to like 50s. So NVIDIA does break 880, it just printed through 79s. This market is still looking relatively weak. I mean, the NASDAQ is down 1.4, ES down 1. Just understand, this is a type of morning, if you start to find some bottoms, you want to be very careful shorting lows. So have yourself a stop. If this gets above 81, I do not want to be fighting it too much in there. There was a small cap halt trade, but I think we'll get to some of the small caps when things slow down. Google was looking pretty solid at the open, and now it's trending right back into the low. So even Google, which was a kernel of strength, is running out of steam a heck of a lot. The Tesla trade, like I said, I'm out of 2/3 of it, and then looking to hold for the dream down at the low of the day. It's holding this higher low pretty decently. If this cracks VWAP, again, if it breaks VWAP here and gets through 166, I liked 168, so I would have to wait for that level to get back into a short. So not really seeing any longs that pique my interest. We only have 4 shorts on. I would have told you Google if it could have broken out of that top, but the market is still falling. No need to fight it here.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go over to it, Darren. We'll take the market in a minute.
Vivo Power, another small cap to keep an eye on here. VVPR, this one announcing that its Tembo subsidiary going to be going public through this Cactus Acquisition Corp. So basically partnering with an acquisition corp here, one of its subsidiaries. So VVPR up about over 300%. Worth noting as well, pretty small float, 1.87 million shares, guys.
I got that. I got that 30, Phil. Face slap it there. I should have looked at NVIDIA, man. That was a good one there. As this market continues to head lower, really. All right, there goes NASDAQ. We just got another. Yes, sir, man. Props that up for Apple. Honestly, I just hope you guys were with that trade there. All right, let's be careful here as we'll watch out for Tesla as it's coming back upside. We did talk about trying to short in there and get out if we break 168. I'm actually going to stick with that. So I'm going to try to continue to short this name until a 168 or so comes through. So that's going to be my plan of action there for Tesla. And then I know you have, or
I'm out.
Oh, you're out of NVIDIA. Okay.
It did a wick shimmy.
Oh,
this is not a real. This is not a real wick to 884. It didn't go there. I'm going to get back in. It didn't go to 884.
You went to 882 on ours.
Yeah, I got. Okay. I mean, I have a wick to 884 on here, but the pre-market low in here on the actual body is 882.5. So I still think it's worthy of a short. Mara, by the way, Bitcoin, IBIT is back above 37. So when I saw that happen, it's actually breaking a little bit here. I got some out at 1970 because you're actually starting to see a little bit of strength come back in higher low here on Mara. Want to make sure we're grabbing some profit. If you look at a place that we're not, we're looking for relative strength. CGC is up 9%.
I just saw someone say that.
Yeah. And
got killed yesterday.
And it's going, oh yeah, it absolutely smoked 2 days in a row, but it's squeezing a little bit here through the $8 level. So this is probably worth watching here. Reverse split, so lower float, has a chance to run.
All right. Yeah, that NVIDIA might be a little bit dangerous here until we get up to some of those levels of like 885 and change-ish. So I'm going to wait on that trade for now. Apple, I cannot believe we got those. So I was actually lucky there that I wasn't paying as close attention to my blotter as damn, eyelash again. That I haven't paid as much attention to this as I should have because I punched out twice there. I only meant to get out once, but so it looks like a little bit of a saving grace there because we got out. And now we only have 20% left of our Apple trade. So let's just hold it. We still like that trade. The Tesla one is making me nervous. I did want to check in on the only long idea that I had all day. I do like what Neil said with Google because there was some relative strength there. But Alibaba is the one for me. And I'm not buying these 50s. This 50 looks genius, right? Like it looks like a great little level there to support. But I'm not falling for that trap, honestly. Like trap set, not falling in. Because if I start buying there, then where do I get out? I mean, I'm not just going to buy 50, get out when it breaks 50. That's not enough because you could just flush in on a continued move, right? So let's just be as patient as we can with Alibaba. Although the market's trying to tick up, I'm still not convinced.
Tesla's looking stronger.
Yeah, Tesla. Oh, did I just get more? Yes, I did. Okay, so we're short at 166 now. So what is that bottom right there? 165. All right, so let's put a 165.25 or so, Phil. See if we could take another $1 or so on this reload. But for right now, yeah, you are right about that. Tesla, and we noted that Tesla was looking pretty strong. So we got out of some Apple and looks like we probably should have got out of some Tesla. My breaking spot on this is 168. I'll throw it all back. So 168 for me on Tesla is where I'm getting out.
Well, what's wild is now all of a sudden Google is not bouncing at all. So as Tesla gets right back up into that top, Google's not bouncing. AMD, which we have not checked, like NVIDIA is trying to bounce. AMD is just hanging out at the low. 175 on AMD. That's 175. And if it breaks that, you got 172 in here. But this would be the level that AMD would turn. So I would suspect there's going to be a little bit of buying. It tries to take this one up a little bit over there. Tesla is going to break 167, it looks like.
Here we go. It's all good now. Yeah, there goes Tesla. So I'm still waiting for that 168, but this will be a $1.30 hit. We did talk about that we'd have to be a little smart. There it is. Let's go. We'd have to be a little smart with our trades. So let's start to get out. Oh, damn. Did we just put this on the board there? We're short at 166.60. We're just covered at 50. We just covered at 30. If this falls down here, man, we have more shares than we had thought. Let's see if we get a fill back down in as we just slowly lick some wounds there on this move back up for Tesla. But hey, let's put another bid down there at 166, but let's not put too many bids. Because if we fall back in, this is what we like. So let's see what happens here for Tesla. We're bidding 166.20 on an average price. We talked about where we were getting stopped out. Let's see if that one does happen for us or not. Let's go. Yes, sir. Bang. There it is. Let's go. Come on, Tesla. Oh, yeah. Good trade so far here, baby. This is exactly what we want. We said put your orders where you want the trades, and now let's see what happens. It's another one. It's a dollar club on more shares than I realized with Tesla. So there it is. Let's put another bid and see if we can capture that. But yeah, Neil, that was a little bit of an interesting fly to the north side, and those are the trades that all of you and hopefully me could take advantage of, and we did. So that was a good one right there. Ooh, all right, that was fun.
I'm seeing a lot of stocks with higher lows. So I'm out of Tesla. I'm now out of Mara. I don't want to be fighting like higher lows into a break. And don't forget, we got JOLTS coming in like 10 minutes or so. So keep an eye. These are going to probably have big time spreads in the next 10 minutes. They're going to open up in front of the numbers. So I would really be watching out for it. I was saying look for Google for some strength. Tesla just rallied and just came out. Marva just rallied and just came out through 20. Alphabet is at the low of the day. this is no longer a relatively strong name. AMD still going down, so I think that's a bit of a dog that we got to pay attention to. That looks pretty nasty in there. Tesla, I like the 68 level, but a 68 level is different from shorting this level for me. Like if we're shorting 166, 167, I'm shorting that level. If I'm shorting 168, I got to let it get up there. So either we're getting back underneath and holding this low, or we're getting up to that 168 over here on Tesla. Oh, the other thing I wanted to get to is back over to NVIDIA. It's trying to calm down, but this is making higher lows while AMD is still looking weak. So AMD feels like the weaker of the two stocks. I think waiting for those round $5 levels is going to be a little bit easier to play off of in NVIDIA because the spread is going to get wild, as I said, in about 10 minutes or so. We have that JOLTS number coming out.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Kevin Mendoza. Look, you've been here forever, man. You want some more slappers. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I mean, right now we've had $2 winner on Tesla. We're now sitting in a $1 winner. We've given Apple... has been we're 2 for 2, and they're both slappers. And then I'll shout out to Ryan there in the chat as well, man. Oops, look, I'm typing Ryan into the thing here. That's hilarious. For your trade there on AMD, I mean, you're mentioning you're being $3 in the money. Congratulations on that one as AMD continues to break that pre-market level of 179 and not seeing a better day from then. So right now, nice move. Congrats to Ryan and congrats to everybody out there that's trading. I mean, today it has been another one of those days, man. I mean, another good day. We nailed the right direction. We nailed the names and we're patient. And that's the number one thing. I talked about that over and over, man. Like what has changed is understanding the market you're in. Shout out to Canoe there, understanding that this is a market where we can get bigger moves. And, you know, I'm trying to hold out for some of those. Now that I see this trying to bounce a little bit here on Tesla, see this is where, okay, so we just took another piece out there. So that's a 90-cent winner. We only have now less than 20% left. No, 20% left of what we had the first place. So that's what we have right now here on Tesla. So let's get out if it breaks 168. We've already talked about that. We will. You know what? I'm wondering about this 167 because that really got going. All right, I'm going to change my stop to 167.25. If it breaks that, let's just get out. We'll take a 25-cent hit. We just hit this trade for $1. We hit it first for 30 or 40 cents. Then we got 50 cents. Then we got $1. Then we just got 90 cents. So if we take 20% hit here on the last bit, then that is fine. So we'll wait to see if that happens. Apple, you already know my plan on that one. We just missed that reload. I'm at 25s. It went to 15. So let's put an order a little bit higher. Let's put like one rate at 15 in case that happens again to us for Apple, but we're short until it breaks that. I just want to remain net short. I know you were looking at Mara there, but Bitcoin right here. Did IBIT bounce off 36? It bounced off
37. It bounced back to 37. Okay. I said if it's over 37 and we break 20, I'm just getting out. So I'm out of it. If we get back underneath 37, fair enough. I was thinking we weren't going to get Palantir, you know, back into some of those highs. It just did make a move. So I'm going to get the 2020 stop in there on PLTR. Maybe throw it a little bit. You know what? I don't want to do a half stop. I'll get it all out. Because I think if you break from some of these lows, I don't want to play like that half measure game of getting half out and then waiting for another level. If it breaks that 28, 22 area, I'll just get it all out. So short Palantir, I got 05s on the way back in. I'll add to it if we start going sideways. Google looks like it was a good bounce off that 152. So Alphabet, it's down 1.9%, but a nice little double bottom. If this can creep above VWAP, maybe show a little bit more strength. But the market is so weak. I don't want to be getting away from the short idea. I do want back into Tesla. It's just I'm trying to wait for 168 to get at least tested, you know, back into this level, like jam up in there, give fills 68 to 69, because yesterday's low is actually 170. So if I'm getting into that range, it has to be that 68. Is Nicola buy under $1? Austin Carr just asked. My answer is no. I actually think, I didn't even realize Nicola failed $1 today. And that's actually getting my attention. I am going to pay for locates on Nicola. If it bounces and fades the dollar level the second time, I love dollar breaks to the downside.
Yeah, exactly. That's
no, we do not.
Those are dem strategies right there. Okay, we are getting close. I'm gonna take another fill here on Apple just because we are getting close. Come on, yes sir. Wow, what a hold. Get into the gates of hell, Tesla. Let's go right now. Let's see how low she can go right now on Tesla. Coming back into 163, 164. I mean, that would be a dream. So let's put a bid there. Why not? 164. I mean, can we get that? Why not? 164.50. Let's put a bid right there on Tesla. That's my next bid. I actually did have a 165.50 fill right there, but we don't need that. So we'll just hold out. Hope that we can get a better fill coming through very, very shortly here on Tesla. So that's going to be a little bit of a marker for us now on that downside. Again, probably a little bit overexposed there just from where we are on this name, but we'll wait. So we'll wait for that one. It's Apple that right now is kind of bugging me a little bit as we wait to see what Apple wants to do here on this low end. So Apple coming back up. We're going to get out if it breaks 160. Actually, I better put that order in so I don't forget. 169.50s. That's it. We'll put a 52 fill out there. That's where we're getting out if anything goes awry here with King Apple as we get a little bit more short.
Is it really the king though?
I don't know, man. It's been that for a minute, but yeah, definitely. I think you're right.
I don't think we can call Apple the king.
No, it's NVIDIA, I guess, right now would be what's running the show. But there goes Apple. Nice move back up, man. Watch out. Apple's starting to go back up to the upside. So we'll just watch out here. Tesla, thankfully we have Tesla, which is really cranking here to the downside, which is nice. So we'll have to watch out for that. There it is. This was my first target, VWAP. But there it is, man. It's a $2 club member right there for for Tesla again as we take that 167 and now we bring the pain back into 165. Let's go Tesla. It is falling all over itself right now. This is a nice little move. We have this short. I am going to bid this out. There it is. We get some out at 165. Let's go, man. The casino's open. Seems like every day, but it is open today with Tesla. That's a good short there. $2. We just took that.
Yeah, Tesla right back down. By the way, I am now into Nikola. I took 95 as a lower high, so I'm short that one off the 95 level. I know I said I wait for $1, but I looked at the chart and said 95s, so I'm short 92.4. We only show 1 decimal, 2 decimal places on the charts, but it does matter on a penny stock. So I'm risking about 3 cents on that trade. GOEV's back at the 250 level. I'm bidding again to get some out in front of it. NVIDIA was just at 880. There it is. It did. Man, NVIDIA is wild. There was a wick up there to 885 that I tried to grab. I'm like, did it really even get up there? Because I was sitting in front of 85s. It's right back to 881. So I think getting the liquidity in front of the $5 level is probably the way to go. But some strength coming into that name. AMD still a bit of a dog, holding the bottom end of the range. I feel like there might be a better chance to get this one off of VWAP as well. You have 4 consecutive green candles if this one closes on a 3-minute to the upside, so you could be getting a VWAP bounce here. AMD weaker than said NVIDIA. As mentioned, I am in Nikola. It's not the dollar trade. Shout out to everyone that was mentioning this was moving. It is in a bit of an SSR bounce, but when it fails $1, I'm going to give it some shots underneath. So there's 95 cents. That's why I like getting it here. And if it breaks 95, I'd wait for the dollar level to make another trade. So we're short Nikola as well.
All right, so we got some O's there on Apple. I still think we can go lower on this name, and Tesla is still the other name that we have. So let's start to look at some more. All right, so let's look at AMD quickly. What time is it? It's not even 10 o'clock.
I mean, number in 3 minutes, though.
Wow, yeah, the number in 3 minutes. Okay, so that'll be something. If we do get it moved back up to 177, I mean, I still want to remain short everything. Apple, I feel like that's going to be a good trade right now as we bounce around that 50 period. Let's take a little bit more if we do come up into that 169.30 area or so. You ready for the throw? Delayed. Okay, so we'll go closer to 10 o'clock. We'll go over to Adara for those numbers coming through. So the numbers that we do have coming up, let me just check our inbox right now and see what's going on.
It's JOLTS is the big one. Factory orders,
yeah,
JOLTS.
Yeah. Factory orders, durable orders coming through as well for February, and the JOLTS job openings expected 8.74 million. All right, so we'll wait to hear about that, but that's going to be a big one. Is it? I don't know. We'll wait. But there's Apple making that move.
It's not non-farm, but it's big.
I liked NVIDIA down here. I think the level wasn't the level 880 or something. So again, something else to look at. What just happened? Oh no. All right. Okay. Meta, anybody? Meta's up today. So, all right, well, this just fell in. This is what I was telling some of the traders behind me.
Oh, thanks,
it's
bro.
put your orders in and see what happens. So there goes. Come on, Apple. Apple's going to the downside. Meta is making a move up, and I do not know why. This is the positive name here today. Thank you very much, Rob. That is very, very good. As we have the Toronto Cup. Thank you. Oh, man, I need some of this. I did not sleep at all.
Here comes NVIDIA to the upside. It's at 883. I still have this one bad wick on the chart, but 885 is just above VWAP, and it is the resistance off of the open. When you said Meta was strong, I went right over to Alphabet to see if it was showing some signs of strength, because that was a good one. But you're just not. Like, it's not even through VWAP. And I'm not going to take a position into Alphabet. I'll wait for the numbers to come out at 10 o'clock and make a play. Already in the 3 pounds here we got, nickel obviously, and then we've been in GOEV all morning. But we'll let the number come out and then make a judgment. I wanted to see this above VWAP on Google before I tried to press into, if I have a long, it would just be that one. And I'm not really thinking anything, but all of a sudden Meta, that kind of catches me off guard. So I'm going to watch it, because this is, with the levels on Meta here, I kind of had 95. So it gets pretty close. I thought there was a 0% chance it would get to 495 today, because that was $10 from yesterday's low. So let's let the numbers come out and settle this market down.
All right, so let's go to it, Eric.
Sorry about that. Couple seconds until we get these numbers here. JOLTS job openings going to be the big one here on watch. Consensus of 8.75 million, forecast of 8.84 million. We actually come in here at 8.756 million. So basically in line here with the consensus, slightly lower than the forecast. Factory orders month over month coming in at 1.4% to the upside. Factory orders ex transportation, 1.1% to the upside. Both of these stronger than the previous numbers here. JOLTS job quits coming a little bit higher than the previous, 3.484 million, and also a little bit higher than the forecast of 3.37 million. So a bit of a mixed look here for these numbers. Also worth noting, we get Fed Bowman, first of 4 Fed speakers today, starting at 10 a.m. In terms of the market itself, not reacting too much to this, continuing to kind of see a little bit of chop and churn at this level of just almost 1% to the downside. A couple other individual names to look at, though, right now, too, as we head into the rest of the day. Bilibili, BILI, up about 4%. One of many Chinese ADRs to keep on watch, but this one also, according to local media outlet Late Post, the company's main operating center now transitioning into 5 different category units to enhance the focus of these units. So nice look for Bilibili. Also, Occidental here, OXY, one of many strong oil names right now. Occidental actually hitting new 52-week highs amidst overall strength in the price of oil, with Brent crude hitting its highest prices of 2024. Lots of names to keep an eye on here, guys.
Hey, we had quite a wild ride right there, because we're in Meta. So Meta went down to 490.75 on that print. I was at 490.50, or else that would have been like a $2 winner just out of nowhere. Lucky on that, because that did hit down. But as you can see, those numbers don't really seem to be affecting the market. I mean, as I sit here, my net just kind of remains where it was, although we're putting a little bit more damage on the board now with Meta, because that's now almost $1 in the money again for us. And then Apple did that dance, man. We got VWAP 90s. We got 90s on Apple there, and we got 96. So we got, oopsies. Oh, Mo, I just sorted my thing alphabetically. I want it by time so I can see my fills. So there it is right there. Again, take advantage of those numbers when they come out. Put your orders out there, and just know what you want. And then sometimes you get it. So there on Meta, we did put out a 490.50 right into this. But unfortunately, it stopped 25 cents light of that. And then we just reshorted it. So we are reloaded up there against 4. We're up on Meta, but might not be for a while. We're going to hold this one $1. 490, 350 is kind of the target area that I have listed for me on Meta. So that would be the breaking spot for me there. Let's, I guess, see if that holds. But that's what we're going to do.
Speaking of holds,
yeah.
NVIDIA is not going to hold 85. I got the 885, the fill in front of 885 on the number. I was immediately get $1.50 on the trade, because that's the whipsaw action that you get. But it just broke out the top at 885. So I didn't want to interrupt there. We said that was a one stock. I wasn't going to put an order on Google, but we'd put one on Meta. On NVIDIA, but it's now through 885. So quickly in and out. It was a good short for right off that bat. If you took profit, you could have got as good as 881. I got 83s, and then when it broke out 85, so I'm out of the trade. I still think this market can be a short, but I think you got to be careful here. Palantir is going to come out for me as that does break the 2020, so the 2220 level. If I zoom it out, there you go. It's still down 3%, and I am going to look for another short kind of in the area that we thought when we sat down off the 22.5. So let's let this one breathe a little bit. Going to let NVIDIA breathe a little bit as well. Nickel's pressing that 95. I do intend on covering. I'm not holding through. I'll give it a couple of points, not cents, but like points, percentage of a cent above that 95 level. But if it does break out here, I'm going to wait for the dollar level. I'm in this trade because I want the dollar. So if it fails at 95 again, I can short it underneath 94, but I want to risk a couple of pennies underneath that 95. And if it gets to a buck, I think that's a separate trade. Still looking at GOEV, down at that 250 level, but it doesn't seem to want to break any lower. And if this market is bouncing, I thought it would be Google, not Meta. Why is this still on? There you go. Google cannot break VWAP all of a sudden. So I don't know what happened to Alphabet after yesterday, but the strength is, oh, here it goes. Now it's actually getting above VWAP. If I see it close and hold VWAP in a consolidation, I will look for a long there and possibly only there. As for Tesla, it is still showing, like I got out 67. It's now double top 67. If you double tap that and then put in a nice lower high, that's a re-entry for a short trade on Tesla. But it's in the process of trying to put in that lower high while the market is bouncing. So let's let this market calm itself down a little bit. First position I was in was GOEV, and at 10 o'clock, like that's suddenly the only one I'm still in. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, we're only in 3 positions, and we are 1 for 1,
Another one.
2 for 2,
Another one.
and 3 for 3.
Another one.
So we'll have 3 winners on. We've only had 3 trades today. So Tesla's still $1 in the money. We cannot go red on this name, not even come close to going red on this name. And then Meta is now turning out to be basically a doozy right here. If we can get this 491 flat fill right now. I'm at 491, but we've just kind of bounced off of that, I guess, a little bit right here. So let's see if we can get back in. Come on, give me that 491 flat, baby. We're there. I don't know. I might just put it come through right now, and we're just actually printing on Apple. Are you kidding me right now? This is just another one of those days, man. We've been having these days, and there it is. Wow. All right. Geez, man. Woo, good day. Again, 3 for 3, all shorts. And we started the day saying we are not going anything but short. We went all shorts yesterday. I probably had, 200 fills, all to the short side. And then, of course, covers, which is the other side of that fill. And then here now today, Apple. Thank you. Come again, like literally. This is just keep on doing this, Apple. That's very nice of you. So we'll just keep on doing that with Apple. We just took a $2 winner on Meta. So that's there now. And then also Tesla's now as the market breaks lower. So again, just such a good day to be biased today. I mean, you come in looking for short, only take shorts, and the shorts have been printing. So far, so good here today. Reddit, I think, was moving. People were talking about that. But yeah, again, another pretty bang-up day here for the market and for what we're seeing.
Reddit bounced. Every time I flip stocks, I have to hit enter twice. Reddit bounced right off that 44 level. If you're paying attention, 44 was the IPO, looks like the low down there, but it didn't quite get to 44 previously. I just went over at AMD. We said we thought on a bounce we could get AMD to get to VWAP. Well, it's there. So there's that bounce up VWAP. It wicked to 177.5, let it come back down. When it got into 177, shorted that. So I want to short this area into that higher, this 177.5, 178 area. So you're starting to see after the market bounce, you're looking at a little bit of consolidation and trying to re-enter some trades. NVIDIA's back underneath 885. If I could have gotten that fill right back in, I probably would have taken that. But that's now down through VWAP, which I'm not chasing at 883. I think you got to get this close to 885 like the first time through. So 177, we're in on AMD, but I still like NVIDIA short as well. If you're looking at something like that Google, I keep coming back to it, no holdover VWAP. Like this is, I don't know if I want Google long unless it's double bottom or give me another bottom. That's about it. And then we talked a lot about Robinhood. Well, here comes Robinhood. So Robinhood is at 1890. I like the 1920 to 1940 zone. It's getting pretty darn close. I didn't think this was going to be likely at the open. I said, Robinhood's a very unlikely trade. It's down at 18. We're not going to get fills above 19. Well, here we are. It's going to break 19 in about 10 cents or so. So getting loaded ready for some Robinhood.
Oh, man. Yeah, Robinhood's a good one. I don't know. I might just, let me see. Because I looked at that. I'm sitting there at 19 waiting for that. Wow, we got missed. Okay, 18. All right, we'll still wait for it. The day's just getting better and better here because Apple continues to go lower, and Apple's actually at VWAP. So let's just punch out there at 9. Did I not get a 94, Phil? There we go. So let's just punch out there at 94 as Meta is now $3 in the money. And again, let's just do, you know what? First of all, go check out the sticky note if you want it. Let's do something else here as Travolta's like, what's even going on right now? As I look for this, let's do a roll call. Who's in the chat right now? Because honestly, I'm just going to watch these things hopefully start to spin a little lower here for us. So let's do a quick shout out. Yo, what's up, Chef Joe? I know that you've been long a lot of things there, so this might be a little bit of a rough day here today as Tesla's been really kick in the face for many of us, of course. But what's up to Andrews here as well? I'm just trying to watch out for some of these plays as we go. Yo, what's up, Pillsbury? What's up to a lot of you traders watching out there? Let me know. Tweet at me what you guys are trading today. Hey, what's up, Nicky Cutlets, my guy? I haven't seen you in a minute. What's up, Ryan? Great trade there on AMD. I got to say a shout out to you as well. Yo, what's up, Nessa, Miami Beach broker, man? If you got a property for me, at Trader TV Sean. What's up, Michael Sandoval? Jason. What's up, Solo Cristo? What's up, Bright Awakening? What's up, To the Moon? Bitcoin trader Kirk Brooks. Thank you all for watching today. Shout out to Bears vs. Bulls. Deshaun Don is in the building. I like that one. Thank you so much to everybody. What's up, Kevin Mendoza? You wanted bangers, baby? Let's go. Right there, a couple good trades there. Kevin, you asked me for a banger before Meta, my guy. So there you go. As promised. There's $3 right there as promised. I mean, I can't control what these stocks do. All I can try to do is find the best opportunities. And I feel like we nailed that. So there it is, man. Meta, boom. We talked about this. It's on the damn sticky note. Like, if you're not looking at this now, good for you. But I mean, Apple short, Meta short, Tesla, crypto. It's all on here. We have the watch list. We've got everything rocking and rolling over here. And I just want to thank everybody for, again, continuing to support us. Let's see if we can get even lower on Meta. I mean, 489 is the 200 period. Maybe we could bid that. Who knows? But right now, we are really cooking, man. Multiple $3 winner Meta, $2 winner Tesla, and Apple's working for us as well as that's trying to get lower here. So I'm just going to, look for some more opportunities. But right now, we're pretty happy with the performance today.
I think Reddit looks like one, but let's let it calm down a little bit. This is actually breaking out highs. Thursday's close is going to come into play here, 49.50 area. AMD just peaked back under 77. I took a piece out. So it looks like it's trying to hold. It was just trying to hold VWAP, but as it broke to the downside, the low was 176.75 on AMD, and it double tapped that low. So it double tapped the low, and I took a piece out of it. I don't know why I have two bids down there. Let's leave it one in front of 176, and then we'll look for the low of the day at 175.5. So the VWAP hunt is going to be on right now. Google is still trying to hold that longer VWAP, but I don't like the chip's chances if this is going to happen to AMD, is to NVIDIA. NVIDIA is now flushing through 881, so I think the chip names are going to be some solid shorts for the rest of this day. Google, I'm very ho-hum on at this point. And I said Robinhood, we're going to get a chance to get into Robinhood. It's looking like it's curling. I'm offering above 19. I'm actually not in front of 19, and it's curling at 18.90. So the entry might actually be here. Give it a shot. Like right now, you're risking 10 cents if you give it to the local high, and then you can try again if it gets above 19. But if the market's going to curl, I don't want to have missed Robinhood completely. It's close enough to take a swipe at this one. So now we're about 50 cents in the money on on AMD, but I want $1 for the next fill. I'm going to get into Robinhood, but it's a tight stop. And then if it presses higher, I want to be shorting into 1940. But I don't think holding an 1885 or 1880 short into 1940 makes sense. So tight stop on this short, play it to VWAP, and if we get a chance at a better price, we'll go for that. Still not liking. I had one stock I was willing to go long today, and every time I look at Google, I just shake my head and say no.
Yeah, we haven't said no to anything today. Oh man, pretty good. The only thing I'm debating saying no to is a bid on Meta, but I do have one out. I'm bidding now at the 200 period. If we could put $4 on the board, let's do that right now and then hold a small piece for the end. Today is easily another one of those days for us. So, we can't be any happier. We can be happier. We could always be happier, but not really with the trades. I mean, I think we've really nailed this. All the stocks that we talked about here on our sticky note today. And thank you for all the kind words. Thank you, Timon, and everybody there in the chat. It really means a lot. But we already talked about what we had on here today. Apple, Meta short. I mean, those are the two names that were in. And then all of a sudden, Tesla, which we also wrote about. Right down here, big miss on Tesla. So we definitely knew we wanted that short. So right now it is a print factory. And this is kind of like, yesterday we couldn't really make a mistake, it seemed like. And then today, again, a 3-for-3 day here, just kind of chilling out. And this is what I mean. Everybody, we say this all the time, you have to find your way, your style. And I think we found ours, man. And it's a good, geez. Wow, okay, Meta. There it is, man. 350 on the board. Right there, top wick today, bottom right now, as we'll hold a little piece of that pie right now to see what's going on with that. So there goes Meta back in, and I just like, this is what we're doing, no problem. Honest Abe, Daryl, that's it, man. What's up to Daryl? One of our original OG guests, so you know what's good, man. You've been watching.
What's up, Daryl?
What's up, Daryl, man? You've been watching me trade for a minute, so you know all about what's going on here. And there it is, so let's... Good trade, guys. Good trade, Ryan, Daryl, anybody that's put anything in the chat where you've been able to make some money, because it's hard enough to make any money around here, let alone, being supported by you guys, which is fantastic. So congratulations, anybody that's green. It's a hard feat.
Yeah, you know what, but as long as you have risk management, you're always going to be good. That's my 2 cents. Thank you very much in the chat. I just saw someone post in there that it's Elon, and Elon bust? Okay, well, it's a bust today. But I still like Elon a little bit. But Intel, relative strength, I know it's down 1%, but what I mean by that is double bottom, so double bottom at the open, higher lows. If it can hold and break out above 44, this is what a relatively strong stock is going to look like today. As the market's making new bottoms or holding the current bottom, something holding higher lows gets my attention. So I do like this look on Intel. I had the 44 marked off from yesterday. As well, it got you one chance right at 9:30 to get the 44 long. So breaking out this top looks pretty strong. I am back into Nikola, and again, like I said, trade your own style. Like for me, I do not like fighting stocks. So if I like shorting a level and it breaks and I get out, I look for weakness off the same price. It wicked, it could not break 96. It came back under 95. I short the 95 break to the downside with a local stop back at the top and play it into VWAP. So that's the plan of action there. I did get that AMD fill, by the way, so that one continues to flush. It just broke 76s by a hair. Looks like it's headed back into 175. If it double bottoms 75, that's an out for me on AMD. I pivoted from NVIDIA to this because I missed the reentry on NVIDIA. So I missed the reentry at 85 on NVIDIA. Thankfully, you were still at 77 in VWAP on AMD. If you miss something, know where else you might want to go. Maybe you miss a Mara trade and you want to go to Coinbase. I don't know. By the way, Bitcoin still going higher. So this rally, thankfully, I'm glad I got away from Mara because IBIT here is still trading clean to the upside. I got 37.6 marked off. This is what I'm waiting for some kind of a short again. It's got to get to 37.6. And if that's the case,
IBIT.
Mara's in load. Mara's still in the pocket. So if 37.6 holds, Mara, and I'd probably give a stop to 2020 currently. That's subject to change. But I am keeping my eyes on IBIT. If it curls at 37.6, you can look at whatever price you want for Bitcoin. I'm watching IBIT, and I'm going to short Mara off that level. So AMD working, GOEV still around that 250 level, so we're hanging into it. Nikola's only a cent in the money. I'm risking 1 cent, so I want it to get down to 93 and 92 before we take some profit there.
All right. I was just still listening. I haven't heard anything in my ear. I just heard something about nothing, and I was like, what was that? And it was nothing. Okay, so things are starting to maybe bottom out a little bit. Remember earlier on I said under my breath a little bit, 18.2. So that's the bouncing spot that I was thinking about earlier. We just could come into this level. We've been talking about this short for 5 days.
What's
the short's finally here. So there it is, man, 18.2. I feel like this could be a cover spot and where we should maybe be debating long at this point. So we've already covered our meta. We have very, very small.
Nah, covering
piece
was
left.
just a mistake.
The big one there, maybe, yeah. And then Apple right here, we'll cover some more there at 99s. We'll take 30 cents. Apple's not. I like the short, but it's actually holding up today. So Apple's only up 0.64, down 0.64, while the market's getting killed right now. It's been 289 days since the ES was last down 2%. So I don't know if that's going to happen today or not, but the NASDAQ sure doesn't have a problem seeing that number, I feel like. And then there we go, down, down, down again. The one name that's holding out again is Apple, but Tesla up to 167. We already have our target there. I'm not reloading this one. Meta, even though it's only 10.18, guys, honestly, we've done pretty good here today and pretty happy with some of these trades that we have on. So let's just keep on with that sort of topic of waiting for better prices. If Tesla can get to that 168, then let's look at that. But for right now, I'm pretty gun-ho with everything that I have. So we'll wait on Meta. If it comes back up, that's a good trade. Let me just check out on Alibaba was the one long idea, but again, 73. Did Nike have any love off that 91? Yeah, so 91.20, kind of like a little bit of a, I don't know, you loop down, you loop down, you loop. That's not bad there.
A loop-to-loop?
Yeah, a little bit of a loop-to-loop down here at 91.20, 91.30 there, looping around.
I don't have a name for these patterns. I'm not a chartered market technician.
Loop-to-loop is right.
So
no, okay, if you're a chartered market technician, like Michael Noss calls them smiley faces. So we can call them whatever.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fair, right? So
if it looks like it and you understand what it means when you look at the chart, then it doesn't matter what you name it. But the reason I was saying it might be wrong to get out of short is simply because the moment I got out of AMD, they get bounced for a split second off the low of the day. I'm like, okay, let's get out 22s, because I love 22. And then it just, it looked like it was bouncing back through 50 and then flushed, broke 175, but it stalled at 90s. So I'm looking for the VWAP retrace. But I think in this situation, I don't know, I shouldn't hit that one today. Like, no Canadian has the right, even if you get a winning trade, I don't have the right to hit the home run thing because we didn't even get a hit last night. I'm embarrassed by that. Thank you, Blue Jays. You suck. AMD, I want to short into VWAP. Let's be patient with it. Nikola got one fill. GOEV still looking relatively weak. I wanted to trade Reddit. Well, that's New York. I wanted to trade Reddit off of the 48 to 50 area. It's giving a consolidation, so I feel like this is up 3%. Let it get to some better resistance before even thinking about that. I don't want to be short. Why short a strong stock? I don't think you have to. Let's go over to Adara, look at some of these small caps, because there are some other movers out there that aren't these big cat tech stocks dying.
Certainly a lot of small cap movers to talk about, although the IWM itself actually pretty weak here, down just shy of 2% for the Russell 2000. Let's take a look at some of these individual runners, including here AINC. This is Ashford Inc. This one trading higher after basically the board approving its reverse stock split, which is going to be a 1 to 10,000 reverse split, and it's a listing strategy basically focusing on enhancing shareholder value. So this decision has Ashford up almost 100%. Just about 2 million share float. Nice look for AINC. We also have Vivo Power, VVPR. This one with a float of about 1.88 million shares. This one announcing that its subsidiary company is going to be merging with an acquisition corp. So nice look move up here for VVPR. Last but not least, MSP Recovery. This is going to be LIFW is the ticker. This is getting a nice little resurgence on really strong volume here, around 10 after initially trading higher on news that Palantir has a 6.5% stake in the company. So nice look here for MSP Recovery, LIFW.
All right.
So just one quick thing, because I was like, oh, I was supposed to look at Starbucks. I remember Starbucks made that big move in the afternoon on volume with nothing happening. Well, there was numbers out of China, and there is some pressure on it today. This is a flat bottom here at $90 on Starbucks. On the daily chart, it's about as plain as day. There's some support underneath it if you go out even further. But if there's going to be a bounce in this one, I mean, 90 is a pretty monstrous level. This is a situation where I want to have a stop before I even think about getting into it. So I'm going to throw my stop first. and then I'm just going to sit on the bid here at like 10s and 12s. It's going to be a small amount of risk, but that's a pretty darn big level on Starbucks. And I said I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long this stock at some point today. So that's a bit of a play from yesterday. But yeah, good look on those small caps. I'm still, eForce, I don't know if people are still boycotting it. To me, it's a $90 level. That's the reason. If you look at technicals, I think you mentioned this, Sean, if you trade with technicals, then stick to the technicals.
Yeah.
And if there's boycott news today, 90 is still a level regardless.
Oh,
and
no,
if
I don't think it's today.
there's nothing new. I mean, in general,
Yeah, it's the Palestine stuff.
yeah, people are still probably boycotting it, but it's at a big level, and that's the reason I want to trade it here.
Oh,
here
a
comes-
name that made a nice move right now is a name that we talked about, but we don't really. Robinhood just popped in. So okay, all right. So now we have to look at Robinhood because, on this little bit of a move up here in the market, I may take out. Tesla's $1 in the money, and feeling pretty fine right now. But we're gonna have to wait for it because I don't know where this name wants to go either. Of course, that's going to be Tesla. I felt like if this market recovered here, Tesla was a good candidate to recover. But it's not doing that at all. So could be completely off on that, and then therefore it's a short. If a market doesn't want to go one way, if the trade doesn't want to go one way when the market's going, then you got to be careful and look at what you're watching for. So I'm going to wait for Tesla to possibly come lower, and then kind of the opposite here on Apple. I mean, good thing we cleaned out some Apple there. As it went back in, right? So Apple came back in, when I mean back in, like to the downside there because we're going that way. So we'll have to watch out now what happens with Apple because we do have a move higher. We were waiting for 50s on this. I do not have another order to get more short on this name. So we only have about 25% left of this trade. We were waiting for lower on Apple, but we did say 18.2 was a possible turnaround spot right there. We are now in about 10% of Meta. We're in we just said about 25% of Apple. And then Robinhood is the brand new position. So I'm thinking about using 1920. Was that on me the whole time or on you this whole time?
It's on me, baby.
Well, what's going?
No,
okay.
I'm pretending like it's on me.
Okay, shout out to Randy there. Thanks for the coffees. And there we go. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Nice top there at 1920. Is there no one over there to help Randy out here?
While we're on, I don't know if you can. DJT is about to take out the high and potentially squeeze it off here. Phrasing. If it does break, I think 52 was the bigger level. So that was the day one bottom. So if it breaks 52, I think it's going squeeze on TJT. But I got out of AMD. And sometimes it looks genius when you take it out at the bottom because it holds the range. Other times it looks like ridiculous. If it goes to 170, I look like an idiot. But VWAP is where I'm looking for the reload on AMD. So it gets back up to that 177 in VWAP. Let's see if we can't get it. But the market is making a bit of a bounce. I think you got to be a little bit patient. If you want to reload these shorts, just don't give away what you made on the stock is kind of what I'm looking for. Robinhood, that first tight stop short, I said I'll short it here and give it to there. Well, it broke. So now I'm looking at that 19. It's about 19.4. So into 19, I wanted to wait till 19.2s. Robinhood looking strong. I don't think it goes green today. It would have to get to 19.42 to actually go green. But let's be patient and wait for these levels to come in. AMD VWAP is what I'm searching for now.
Yeah, it's only 10:30, right? It's not even that late yet. This is going to be a very, very interesting day. We do have Adara and Adobe coming on the midday show. That should be a heck of a lot of fun.
I thought you said you weren't going to say that.
Adara and Adobe, yeah, and Adara and Adobe trading with Obi on the midday. Yeah, no, I do not want to say that. That's for sure.
Too late.
Yes, very, very much too late.
I like it.
All right, Robinhood. So
I
I didn't put this order out to get flat there. I was wondering about because I'm not in that many shares and we've had such a good day. It doesn't mean that you want to throw bad money after good or anything like that. But I was just like, this is a really nice move up. So I was actually thinking, daring this thing to go green today. I don't know if that's going to be a good number or not, but we're going to wait to see here at 1950 coming through. So all good, all good. Fabian is.
You want to get somebody or?
Yeah, I'm trying. Just hurry. as we get going here. But there it is, Robinhood, nice move up to 1920. I'm thinking about adding a position. So what I was getting at here is I'm thinking about adding as Tesla. I'm just stumbling here because Tesla's making its move down, and I'm trying to figure out how many shares I want to do. So we just missed that opportunity at 1920. I don't think we would have got filled, but let's sit there against 1950. Long story short, that is what we are doing right there on Robinhood.
Yeah, again, like I said, be a little bit patient. It's like, it's hilarious because like you guys are like, yeah, Neil thinking face. Well, when we're on here, that's what we're doing. Like I'm looking at VWAP on AMD, and I'm looking at, I got a question about Intel. I need to see Intel get above 44 and hold it. It's just not there yet. But AMD, I did end up getting in. It did a curl at 176.5. So it didn't quite get into VWAP, so I figured, okay, I'll get in here. If it doesn't hold the half, I can always try to re-enter it at a different price. So is what it is. I'm back in AMD. It's 4% to the downside right now, but if it breaks VWAP, this could be a temporary bottom. It's that time of day where you can see those curls. I said Intel looks relatively strong, and that's 100% true. But if it's not breaking this triple top, then long off support is better than long right in front of resistance. So I don't necessarily want to be long here. I want to see bids holding 44 and breaking 44.10. If that happens, I'm willing to be long in Intel. It's just very particular at that moment. And Robinhood, I think I'm at the quarters. So I'm back on the offer here. This was the channel I liked into yesterday's bottoms on Robinhood, and it's really starting to get close. So I'm on the offer at 20. Why am I at 25? That's silly. There's probably going to be size there, so I'm going to get in front of 1925 instead of at 1925. But yeah, it looks like this market is trying to bounce. So we got that price. I opened this morning saying it's unlikely we get short in front of 1940 on Robinhood, yet here we are.
All right. I got one of my assistant coaches asking me something.
What's he saying?
Oh, no, nothing. Everyone's got to sign. You got to do like a vulnerable sector report and all that stuff to make sure that, so there's a code, so Hyde Park pays for all that. So
I
got to get that going soon.
All right, we're going to get tested on these shorts. K Debs just said thoughts on PayPal. So
thoughts?
I mean, like today is a day where I feel like Robinhood's going to have better volume. I would even argue with Bitcoin moving around, block is going to look pretty good. But this looks strong. These are looking strong. Higher lows into a potential break. This is a bullish setup when the market has made a bottom like this. And we're just still barely off the bottoms. And a stock is showing you that kind of reversal. So like, yeah, I mean, I'm short everything today with a bit of a bias. I would say I don't want to short PayPal. That would be my answer. I'm not going to go long it because I'm not really thinking long at this point. Intel's a maybe if it can hold 44. But that's not a short to me. That looks pretty strong over there, relatively speaking, in PayPal. Wipeout low. I don't know why this is not backfilling my 15-minute chart. I'll go back over to the daily to show you. This is a nice wick bottom. If it gets back above 65, that would be a pretty strong holder in PayPal. But I'm going to stick to the ones that we're in. We're in 4 shorts. AMD is the freshest one off of VWAP. We'll see if that can get back down to the 175 low.
I was debating a Disney short here as well, but let's go over to Adara. And wow, crypto's at 66. Okay, nice little bounce there. He wasn't even paying attention. Let's go find out more from Adara.
Big story here, of course, with crypto is that drop that we saw pretty much across the board for cryptocurrencies coming off of yesterday. Apparently, there was about $400 million in liquidations for crypto longs. Crypto short saw liquidations of Bitcoin short saw liquidations of about $85 million. So definitely the bulls seeing lots of liquidations here. About $400 million as reported here by CoinDesk. So big move down across the board here. Here is Bitcoin, as Sean just said there, making a bit of a bounce here off of that low, heading into that 65 area. Now we're just right perching here at 66,000. But weakness across the board here. So Bitcoin around 66,000. Ethereum just holding on to that 3,300 level. BNB down about 4%. Solana down about 6%, just holding on to this 181 area. Dogecoin down about 7%, Cardano down about 5%, Avalanche down about 8%. Pretty right across the board for all these cryptocurrencies. We are brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Sign up today for 50% off their premier news and research platform for retail traders with code TTV capital letters. Use the link in the description to go to checkout.
All right,
Thank you very much. And just, I want to point this out, like Natty Chen, sometimes you will see a slight delay between when we get a fill and how quickly it'll show up on the position board. So I can tell you, when you're making the I'm already stopped out of Nicholas. So I'll slap the fail on it. Sometimes you don't want to go to a name that wasn't on your list, but if a stock breaks $1, then I'm going to take shots at it. And so that's one, like, it's a standing thing. I did short it underneath 95 on this little curl. I then shorted it off this 96 area. It then broke this local high here, which is just an automatic out for me. If it does make the dollar move, then I'll go back over to the dollar trade for Nikola. But it's starting to trend back into the upside. So you take those shots at it, but you try to adhere to your stop. You always want to adhere to your stops, but the dollar level is the big one. Coffee trader, what am I thinking on ARM for a long term or a swing? Actually, that's a stock I haven't even considered. I sold half of my personal position in ARM at like 122, 22, like somewhere. I forget the actual day that it was. I'd have to go back and check, but it's still up here. There has not been a flush. Like, the stock isn't flushing after the IPO expiration. So, you know, it's not doing anything that makes any sense to me. I'm not buying it up here. The 50 period's now at 117, and I don't even want to buy that. So I'm doing nothing with this stock. I'm not swinging it out to 50 period. I'm not buying it back after selling half. I'm just going to sit it out because I don't get why it's up this high, to be honest with you.
Yeah, ARM's a good trade, man. I mean, that was a great IPO, that's for sure. We'll see if Reddit can hold its IPO prices. We are now back into these lows again, so let's go, man. Even though we're holding on to this, it's still going to be a banger. Wow, okay. I mean, here we go again. So the market is fading out again right now, back to the downside, especially if we take this 50 period. I still think this 18.2 will hold, but that should be something interesting. And there's Meta, again, just come right back in. We did not reshort some of those pops, and we probably should have, but we did not. So here we go. Let's just break lower and hold this name. I mean, if we're lucky enough to hold this this far, then good on that one. And then here comes Tesla again, trying to get below VWAP, and it looks like it's trying to hold it, now breaking lower. We only have 4 trades on today. Our latest one is Robinhood, and we are 5 cents out. So we're short here at 19.10 because we have a 19 and then a 20 fill right now. So we're comfortable with this trade. We'll hold it at least to 19. I want to see at least a 10-cent fill there, back down into 19, so to at least get us that back. And then after that, I mean, why not retrace to the 50 period? But because this is a little bit of a slow trade, the 50 period probably will be in and around here by the time we finally get out. So that's why we want to try to push some 19s if that comes through. And then I'm waiting for this. So we'll see if we can get maybe another fill up here. But if this market kind of hovers around, then we can find our way out of this. We can even get out at a 1930 break and take 20-cent hit. But for right now, Robinhood has kind of found its spot. It's not doing a whole heck of a lot, so I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I think we did really well understanding what Apple wanted to do the first time. So I'm just gonna put another bid right down here at 96 because this is where it bounced last time. And there it is, we will get another money fill for Apple. So 3 for 3 with position pending on Meta, on Hood, and there's another out for us on Apple. So again, just should have reshorted all those tops, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. That is hindsight, and we're not going to worry too much about that one. I did want to check on JP Morgan because yesterday we noted in the market recap show where traders stay late, and I want to thank everybody for that. We noted that yesterday JP Morgan finally had a red day, but it wasn't a big one. We were just trying to note it off of $200. So that comes up, hits a pretty key level. We've seen some wick highs into 201, maybe 201.50. Again, if we think that gold's going up, the dollar's going up, we'll get the dollar update in a couple minutes. All these assets beside Bitcoin today starting to go back up to the upside. So potentially, I could see 200 being a sticky level there. I feel like this could be a short until we finally break above that 201.50 and change. So I'm going to try to note this and then try to trade this as well a little more aggressively if we get near 200. So that's something I'm going to be looking at here into the close or into the afternoon. And then SoFi, this name, whenever we talk about finance, we always talk about SoFi, and this name is not good. So I don't know if we talked about maybe rotating money out of Robinhood a while ago. That was actually turned out to be a decent trade because now Robinhood's down about that 20% from $20 or 21.25, I think, whatever the high was. But yeah, SoFi, honestly, this is looking like it wants to break lower as well. So should be another interesting name there with SoFi, but not a great one, that's for sure.
Yeah, my disappointment level in SoFi is relatively high. DJT, I just got Starbucks off the 90 level. So you guys know that. If it breaks 90, I'm just going to get out of Dodge, give it a couple of cents underneath, but not too much. DJT just tried to rally above that 52. It got to 52.5, right back in a prior high. If it makes a second push and can take this out again, I want to see buyers above the 52 level, and the only reason I like 52, I'm just going back, and this is a 15-minute since the conversion, that was the bottom. It was just right at that 52 level. So support, if it breaks it back out, I think is a potential for a squeeze. And we're just trading here. I don't want to, going long a stock or going short a stock isn't an endorsement or the company or saying it's crap. But yeah, I'm just looking for the buyers to be above 52, and if they are, I'm a joiner and see if it can't squeeze. If they don't, then I don't have to go long the stock. Starbucks, I just got the 12 fill. If it can't hold 90, this is a key level on the daily. There's a nice flat bottom break for you. I think it could get nasty if Starbucks breaks that $90 level. Had a decent run yesterday, but this is looking pretty nasty for Starbucks. I'll look to see if it can hold it here. The local highs was only at 30s. So if it goes 1-to-1, like that's actually going up like 15 cents, which is right in front of that 30. So I will get an offer out in front of the 30s and then see if it can't make a bounce. The market is trying to hold on decently here. The NASDAQ has bounced and held on the 15-minute. You have a couple of green candles. We're not out of the bottom of the range yet. I think you can try to look for some bounce plays if something looks relatively strong. But Starbucks is a long in front of a support level, and that's the only thing I've been long pretty much all day. And then if I go long DJT, that doesn't care what the market does. So I still think until we break some of that resistance in the market, I want to give the shorts an opportunity to go.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm trying to hold all of these shorts, man. I mean, Apple is now at the bottom, trying to break. Tesla's $2, Meta's $4, Robinhood is going up, so that'll probably be our first L on the day, which isn't too bad. It's 10.50. We'll take that. But let's just see what happens first. We don't want to take an L if we don't have to. So that's going to be coming into play. WFC, we just talked a little bit about banks. That made a nice high of 58 bucks right there, and then now is pulling off of that level. That was R1 on your support, but there's 58. On the resistance, sorry. There's $58 right there, and look at this. Nice top at 58.10 the last couple of days. So this name was down a buck, now up, and then pretty much bounced off of some of these levels. I think that's going to be worth the trade as well. So JP Morgan up around 200, Wells Fargo up around 150 right now, or sorry, 58. I like that trade and probably something to look into right there for Wells Fargo if that comes back up to 158. So, all right, salute to the shorts. Salute to you too, Mr. Stone, because we are definitely on one with the shorts today, man. Tesla's been, again, it'll be the #1 P&L name, I believe. Meta is trying to deal with that, but for right now, that's going to be the case. Good trading on Tesla today for sure. Never broke any levels. We talked about 168, then we talked about 167.30 against this trade. So like this trade right now that is $2 in the money had a 30-cent stop. So right there, that's another, I mean, there you go, Kevin Mendoza. You wanted a banger right there. That's almost, well, it's getting close to 10-1 risk to reward. So in my books, that would classify. All right, Adara is over there. I will discuss what's for lunch if I get it. I'm going to go look, Joe, but we got to go over to Adara at the big screen.
Lots of weakness across the board, of course, in pretty much all these sectors, but we'll start with the two strong sectors here, those being energy, minerals, and utilities. Both of these seeming to be boosted a little bit here by the fact that Brent crude oil, actually hitting its highest price so far this year. So nice move up here for energy, minerals, and utilities. The rest of these, though, to the downside, most notably consumer durables led down here by Tesla, down about 6+% after those delivery numbers that got a little bit weaker than expected. Also, health services to the downside here. UNH down about 6% as well after Medicaid finalized its Medicare payment amount. So that bringing a lot of these health insurance related groups to the downside. Other than that, the retail trade very weak, producer manufacturing pretty weak, health technology pretty weak, and of course, a lot of these tech names very much to the downside right now. Nvidia, Broadcom, and AMD amongst the chips showing some weakness here. Pretty red day across the board here, guys. Not much to say.
It's pretty nasty. 1.4 to the downside. The only thing that's actually been consistently strong that we were harping on in the pre-market is actually Bitcoin. Like it's, if anything, it's like crypto that's doing some damage to the upside. Like IBIT's okay, fine, it's down 5%, but it is steady to the upside in crypto. And I think that's putting some pressure on Robinhood. AMD is pretty much at the low. It just bounced off of my order. So I'm going to get out in front of the 175 if it holds a second time, which it looks like it's doing. So I'm just going to jump out. It didn't go to VWAP, but just like we were shorting it off VWAP into the low of the day, it's under VWAP there, and we're able to get some out in front of 175. So I think the pressure on Hood is going to be because of crypto. So I got out once, took the short here and got the L, and then it got into the zone that we were sitting around in the morning looking for it to get to the 20 to 40 zone. So I'm in the short off there. If it goes green on the day, then I'm definitely taking the L a second time on that stock. Try to keep it relatively small relative to what you'll win on a stock. GOEV is still okay, but it's not doing much. If GOEV makes another big move, I'll let you guys know. But it's been in the same 10-cent range for a while. And then I wanted to get to Starbucks. It was looking like that 90 was going to be a gold bounce. It got to the 30 level, took some out, right back into the bottom. So Starbucks down that 1.5%. It is along off of that big level on the daily chart. Not really caring about anything except for that technical bottom at 90 even. If it can hold, great. If it doesn't, I'm out if we break the 90 level. We said we'd be looking for some Starbucks trades. I actually thought it would be something breaking above 92 today, but instead, we're trading off this flat bottom at 90 even. And you know what's a good thing? As we get into this second phase of the market, you're getting a bit of a bounce. It's a different style of trade as you go into the midday, and that's what the lesson is all week with Adara and Obi. Now I almost said Adobe. The lesson today is trading different times of day. So whether it's the morning, whether it's the midday, whether it's the afternoon, make sure that you adjust as the market is adjusting. So I feel like you want to wait for the key price levels. That's what I feel like we did with Robinhood. Win or lose on this current short in Robinhood. I waited for it to get out of the short there. I can like it short, but I don't have to like it to hold it all the way. Wait for it to get to the next level and then put the trade on in that level. So a little bit more patience. I think at the open, you can get out of pocket more because you're going to get a little more volatility and movement in a few minutes. At this time of day, you want to wait for that price to come to you.
Yeah, I feel like I do my best trading in the midday, so I'm interested to hear what happens there, because if we can level that up, then great, because today has been a fantastic day. We do not have Chef Joe the lunch yet, so unfortunately I will get that to you when we do get it, but we do not have it yet. So when that comes through, yeah, more cannabis news. Okay, I mean, yeah, today, nice move upside there, as looks like it will be, I think it was the news was that it's going to be voted on, it's going to be on some ballots. CGC, a nice move up. We did get clubbed the last couple days. We talked about that yesterday. We did highlight it. But again, CGC with a nice move up. I've always said, just if you're going to invest in anything, I mean, do your work and pick a highly levered name if you want, like a CGC or a Tilray, one that's, given different offerings and is, just like that MSTR, levered up as well. But MSOS doesn't have the dramatic pushes and pulls like some of those other names. So we've been talking about buying this name since down here, $7, $8. So this is really working. MSOS would be, in my opinion, the ETF to hold in this situation. So that's something that we all want to look at is MSOS in that space. So thanks for bringing that up again. And we do have, once again, my favorite Weed Batman symbol back for that one. And then Tilray. I'm still looking. Let's look at Tilray a little bit here. This has been slower as opposed to CGC. Yeah. So again, still holding up some of that high side. CGC got a bump because of Germany when they got sort of that ban come through there, or that legal come through. So Meta. I'm getting flashed again that Meta just keeps on bouncing, and that's what it's doing. It's still bouncing off VWAP. I have here's a VWAP scanner, again, brought to you by brought to you by me, but created on VWAP scanners by Trade Ideas. You can get the 20% off right there. So there's Meta and there's WFC, two ideas that I brought to you that have come up to and in and around VWAP. So those are trades that are hitting right now. Meta, we only have, like I said, about 10%, but maybe a little bit less than what we had up there. I can't remember. We got out so fast when that came back in. So we still have a good trade on Meta. Tesla's now getting near the bottoms again. I just feel like this is the bottom, 164. So you're now 80 cents away from that. And then if you can break that, then you probably go look at this garbage again down here at 162 and change. So if this market continues to fall down, man, then we've got this. We've got this market. We've been trading it really well. We've nailed it. Yesterday was a beautiful day for the shorts, and it looks like again today they're all printing one more time. So some good trades on AMD.
By the way,
Alibaba still hasn't come in yet.
Just quickly, because someone like Tilray reports next week, a week today, because there's some chatter in the chat about the date, and just to correct a few people in the chat, if you saw, they're reporting in exactly 1 week. And I think but your point about MSOS, nothing in life is free. If you want the less risk in holding the ETF, you're not going to get the big movers. That's why traders sometimes are going to want to trade a CGC. But you probably are safer having your money in the ETF. I do feel like Tesla did not get to SSR, but it's now underneath VWAP. First trade good, second trade not. I think it's now holding underneath VWAP and it's starting to make a little bit more sense in terms of the trend trade. I had 68 marked off and ended up not being the level. So 67 turned into the level. I think it's good on, you made the adjustment to 67. I was like, I'll get out of the trade and wait for 68 because it was upward trending. Now you're underneath VWAP. So I'm still short Hood and GOEV and Starbucks. I actually think Starbucks is not going to hold this last time on 90. So I'm going to stick with the shorts that we have on. Starbucks, if it breaks. I'm actually thinking I'm going to reverse Starbucks because this is, I can't look at a flat bottom break like this on a day where the market is weak and not want to be short this 90 break. So I am going to flip from long to short on Starbucks. Keep in mind, if I miss the fill, that's because we have to exit on a long and then enter a separate order to go into the short. So it's like stop out and then try to reverse. It's not as easy as for some platforms where you don't declare your short first, which is what it is. So Robinhood's the only one under some pressure, but we got it in the pocket that we wanted. So if it gets to VWAP, I'll take it out at VWAP. I don't know what just happened to the rest of my chart there, but VWAP is now going to be wrong on that chart. I guess I'll go to here. I'll show my black chart. VWAP's all the way down to like 1860. So you have 19, 1890, 1860. It's a VWAP retrace play when it goes up this far. So I'm short at the quarters or the 20s into the 40s. Once we get down to VWAP, I look to be out of this trade here in Hood. You're getting a little bit of a curl on IBIT, which is helping this come to the downside.
Money talks with Adara.
DXY a little bit downside here, especially after the strong showing we had over the last few days. We did get a slew of economic data, the biggest of these being the JOLTS job openings number. Slightly higher here, seeing a couple different expectations. Some of the ones I saw were 8.75, some 8.76 here. So based on this estimate, we were slightly lower than expected here, 8.756 million versus the expectation of 8.76 million. Also factory orders here coming higher than expected, 1.4% for the month of February versus 1.1% estimate for the month over month. U.S. durables, excluding defense, coming in a little bit lower than the previous 2.1 versus 2.2% prior. Worth noting as well here, we do have some Fed speak on the horizon. We had Fed's Bowman speaking at 10:10. Did not hear any comments coming out of this, but we do have Fed's Williams at 12 p.m., 12:05 p.m. We get Fed's Mester and Fed's Daily coming in at 1:30. So a slew of Fed speakers during that midday trading period. Stay tuned for those. That will be the start of even more Fed speak. We have 5 Fed speakers tomorrow and then another 6 on Thursday. So stay tuned, see how this might impact the DXY and the overall market, guys.
Right.
Thank you very much, Adara. And just trade with friends in the chat. GE's gap is not a bad move. GE just doing the second part of their spinoff. They spun off GE Healthcare. Now they've spun off their between aerospace and energy. So it's really actually not moving much in General Electric. It's shocking to look at the chart, but it's essentially not really moving at all. So just be careful with that. I wouldn't want you thinking General Electric is cratering or anything like that. I was about to get over to AMD. Here, I'll show you the GE chart. It's actually relatively strong compared to the market. So it's up 1% once you actually do the conversion. So good look for a GE.
0.8%.
0.8, yeah,
good.
0.7,
Yeah,
0.8. So I think it's having a good day. Starbucks, I said I was going to reverse it, but if it's just going to bounce from here, I'm going to respect that curl at 30. And if it gets back up to 30s, I'm going to take some out again off of that level. So it just bounced off the 90 even. I did not reload it because the market is weak, but we'll take some more out if it gets up to 90.30, and then if it gets to VWAP, great. So Starbucks, for now, that 90 level is holding pretty decently.
So unlike the Blue Jays yesterday, we could have just prevented and held a perfect day there. And congratulations to the Houston Astros. Not really.
Why are you congratulating them?
Not really. That's what I was saying. I mean, there's going to be some fans in our chat. I mean, anyways, poor Blue Jays. Robinhood just came down to flat is what I was getting at. And look what happened, man. We bounced off the 50 period. We went down to 08. So we are short 10s. The most that would have printed for us was 2 pennies at most, and we'd have had to sit on that bid and try to get that. We obviously weren't there. So I just want to say I am now at 06. Sorry, I'm at 07, and then we're at 01s. And I may just use this 30-35 as an out. I was going to let this run a little bit higher and see about that, but a nice pullback down in, and Robinhood does hold the 50 period moving average. So not as smooth sailing of a trade back in to 19 as I had hoped. I thought maybe we would cut through that and then see 19, but it doesn't want to see that. So that is a level right there. All right, the next one. Again, the reason why I threw it to Adara, we still do not have what is for lunch. If we do get that, I'll put that up on Twitter. And what's going down, 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 down? Man, it's a good idea that we stayed short everything today, man. And again, these are all the same trades. And I told you about what's working for me, sticking with the ideas, sticking with what's on board. So the only bid that I have left right now, as Apple 65 cents in the money. Meta off of the posted levels here, back in at 494. We are now short now $5 in the money. That's for you, Kevin Mendoza. And then there's Tesla coming in again. So far so good here for the day, as Tesla does break that shelf at 165, but it only gets as low as 164.25. So that's going to be a name in question here for me. And how low can Tesla go? I'm still waiting for a bottom take. We just have light positions. My biggest one is going to be Robinhood. And before we go, I mean, we have about 5 more minutes. If there's anything, oh no, ask and you shall receive. Today, Mr. Chef Joe, we just got it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. However, I barbecued last night, and we had this exact meat, but it's okay because I won't have any now because they'll be gone. And they're really popular.
Right quick.
And we talked about baseball. This is another good baseball meal. You know, I'm trying to...
It's the baseball meal.
Exactly. You can put on multiple toppings on this lunch. You can... Oh, I heard a hot dog? You are close. Today's lunch... is grilled chicken sausage. No, just grilled sausage. We got grilled sausage on a bun with potato salad. And of course, I'm not sure why this is there, and condiments.
Yeah, that's...
So far, so good there. Nice little take on today's lunch. It sounds like it's going to be a good one. A little bit of a sausage on a bun, a proper lunch. So
aren't condiments implied?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure why it's there, but you could have a, you know what, on a sausage, honestly, you put a little bit, I don't know,
grilled onions?
Yeah, I was going to say like some sauerkraut, something like that, a little bit of mustard on there.
These guys don't do sauerkraut.
These guys, they might. My call is they will have sauerkraut.
Well, if they do, I'm going to try to steal one because...
I'm pretty sure they will, because that's why the with condiments I would think.
I'm kind of old school at the park. Like, I just want put the sauerkraut on there and some mustard and I'm good to go. Like, I'm old school with it like that. But someone just said get out of Starbucks. Yeah, I mean, I just took another fill when it got back to the quarters, so I've taken it out twice at the quarters, and it can't seem to get to VWAP. I'm just going to offer in front of VWAP, and at this point, I'm not reloading it. I don't think it's strong enough for a reload. And that 90 level, if it gets taken, I think we get out of it. Oh, goodness, Sebastian. Pineapple? I know, everyone was making jokes.
Pineapple on what? On sausage?
On the sausage?
Nah. You could put, I mean, if you had a salsa, like a...
You can have pineapple in the salsa.
Yeah, that's what
I've had a
say.
few of those.
Throw
That's
some mango.
not bad.
My mom had this mango. So I like mango salsa. My wife also bought it, but too sweet for me. A little too sweet. I like the salsa
what
to
you're
be
eating it with.
Yeah, or it has to be like a spicy mango salsa.
Yes.
Here comes Robinhood back in.
works.
We only have 3 more minutes. That's my jam there as well. So I would take. Okay, I'll tell you the problem is she also had, the garlic aioli. Yeah, that's Fabian. I want Fabian's mic live on air so everyone can.
My earpiece isn't working. I'm missing everything Fabian said.
No, he's just saying throw some garlic aioli on there. But yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I forget. Okay, so.
Oh, you know what the Vegemite thing is going to be today?
Oh, maybe we should do that every day.
So obviously, I should do something better. I was about to say if the ES goes green, I'll come up with something better. We're not going green today.
That's not bad. That's not. I don't think that's
If the ES
happening.
goes green today, I'll do the spoonful of Vegemite. Every single day, I'll make something ridiculous at the end of the morning show. And if that ridiculous thing happens by the end of the day, I'll do a spoonful of Vegemite. Every time I say something, like Tesla couldn't get back to 176. And just if you didn't watch the afternoon show, I was actually sweating this one out right at the close.
Yeah, it was in like 80 cents.
Because I think, for the love of chart, okay, so I'll go to this chart. Tesla was at 170 at 11 o'clock. It was right down here at the bottom. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, if it gets to 176, I'll eat some Vegemite. It got to 175.50 at the close. It got within 50 cents, but it didn't happen. So I'm not eating Vegemite. And today it'll be if the ES goes green before the end of the day. All it has to do is one tick green, and I'll do a spoonful of Vegemite. It's not going to happen. Hood short, Starbucks, teetering. I'm not going to reload that 9. GOEV, if it breaks 70, I'm getting out of it. And then watch out. I keep on looking for this refill in AMD on VWAP, and I'm not getting it. So AMD, I should probably still be in this one. I thought we'd get a shot at this like 176.5 zone. I got it once and then jammed out when it held that bottom. We'll look for re-entry on this name on AMD. And just to go over to NVIDIA, it's still holding the 880 level. This is at VWAP as well. I think that's more of an 885 trade as opposed to VWAP. So I like VWAP on AMD. With NVIDIA, I feel like the short was at 885. And thank goodness, like I bungled the 885 short. I was in it, took a small win, and then got right out, didn't jump back in. But thank goodness AMD let me into the parade when I missed out on that AMD trade. Know where you want to flip to. If you miss an opportunity on a market curl, or like it's the chips, or maybe it's like the weed names, or maybe it's the crypto, if you have another play in the sector, you might be able to jump on over to it. Because when we missed that trade, we're able to jump on over to AMD right quick. So you just got to know where it is that you're going to go.
All right, so right there, man, we'll call the 4 for 4 day with Robinhood being flat. Robinhood right now is at 911. It just printed 909s again. 1911. You're going to see right here. Here comes 1910, trying to get down again. I am bidding 07s here. You could take this out if you guys don't like it. I don't. It's bouncing off the 50 period. I want to play ball, so let's wait to see if it gets a little bit lower. Apple is now breaking lower through 168.60. Let's see if that can continue to go. The futures are bouncing off that level that we gave a lot earlier of 18.2. So that's going to be a level of concern for me, which is why I'm holding Robinhood. I think we can get a lot lower than this. Thank you so much for watching again. It's been a bang up show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and just keep on watching because we have a lot more to go. The net is just increasing here into the close, so it's going to be another big day. I want to thank everybody for watching, and that's it. Thanks to Fabian. Thanks to Randy on the 1s and 2s. I guess Ramin's. I haven't seen Ramin in a minute, but she's here.
She's hard at work somewhere.
She's somewhere doing something.
She's here.
But yeah, good show.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's time for Adobe,
That's right.
Adara, and Obi. You're going to learn all week about trading different times of the day and how you have to adjust. I think it's a really important topic. I've seen a lot of traders get in trouble when they don't make the adjustment. We try to make our adjustments every single day. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, but for now, let's go to Learn to Trade.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Trade. I am Adara. This is Obi. Hi, Obi. Filling in for Sharif. Well, Sharif was on his safari, hanging out with lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, my.
And gorillas.
And gorillas, yeah. Of course. And also, we cannot forget the